said, wait a minute, is everybody alright? How can everybody be alright? Think about the people starving in Ethiopia. Think about my brothers struggling for power in South Africa. The wicked oppressor keep on trying to keep them under. Tell me, Lord, how long do my people have to suffer? No, I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter for what I stand for, and that's my total freedom. Said I'm a warrior, and I'm a fighter. Yes, I know I'm gonna have to fight on for my total freedom. Yeah, oh yeah.
Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who place. Sufferers don't care who from country. Anytime you bounce up a racist and you hear them running them out, it have a whole set of people don't care what they talking about. A racist is someone living happy and all their family doing well. So race talk is really not for people in the ghetto catching hell. Now tell them racist sufferers don't care about color. Sufferers don't care about race. Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who place. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from tongue. Sufferers only want to hear where the next food coming from. Get up early next morning, go down in the 10 days yard. You'll see so much different type of people line up with the ID card. Or visit my village called Talparo, where they ain't get no water for years. People don't know the race, yes, they don't know the color. With a bucket sit down shedding tears. No, tell them racist sufferers don't care about color. Sufferers don't care about race. Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who place. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from tongue. Sufferers only want to hear where the next food coming from.
We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. 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 Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. 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 We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. 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 ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready, yeah, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, 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 yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready. Ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready, yeah, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, 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 yeah, we're ready. We're ready, we're ready, we're ready, 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 we're ready, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, 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 ready. We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready, yeah, we're ready, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, 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 yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready.
मत के खजाने लाया है तकदीर से रोज़ा दारों के ये माह मुबारक आया है। कुरान की बरकत आम हुई, शैतान की नब्ज़ें छूट गईं। मैं खाने के दर बंद हुए, बातिल की उम्मीदें टूट गईं। जन्नत के लिए एक खुश खबरी रोज़ों का महीना लाया है, रहमत के खजाने लाया है, तकदीर से रोज़ा दारों की ये माह मुबारक आया है। मेहराब से लेकर मिंबर तक तकमील वफा के नजारे हैं। खुशनूदिए मौला की खातिर मोमिन के यही तो सहारे हैं। जो मांगोगे मिल जाएगा मौला का संदेशा आया है रहमत के खजाने लाया है तकदीर से रोज़ादारों की ये माह मुबारक आया है हर सांस में रोज़ादारों की खुशबू गुलाबो अंबर है मोमिन के पसीने का कतरा रूहे ज़म-ज़म है कौसर है माहौल पे रोज़ादारों के एक नूर का बादल छाया है रहमत के खजाने लाया है तकदीर से रोज़ादारों की ये माह मुबारक आया है
In this month, close to 2 billion Muslims worldwide observe Ramadan, their most holy and beloved month, yet most difficult. 30 days of fasting from food and drink and praying build mental fortitude and closeness to Allah. There is a lesson in their sacrifice, discipline and faith, a motivation to us all to be resilient and look forward to a brighter day. Just as the hunger of Ramadan ends with the joys of Eid, it is our prayer that the power of this holy month inspire humanity to awaken, to remember God, and to make this world a better place. Ramadan Mubarak to our Islamic community and our nation from your Royal Castle.
Answered Service Limited at 106 Egypt Main Road, Point Fortin. Specialize in heavy, extra heavy, lifting and also transporting services. Services provided at ASL are but not limited to civil and mechanical engineering, site preparation and earthworks, waste management services for non-hazardous material, land reclamation and land development, asphalt paving, supply of ready-mix concrete. We offer rental of most equipment such as crane, tractors, trucks, excavators, and much more. Happy Eid greetings to you and your family from the management of Answered Services Limited. May the day be a dawn of blessings, love, and peace in your life. Eid Mubarak. Please call us at 648-5777 or 648-2489 or email us at answeredservices@gmail.com. We lead, others follow.
No. Top Gear Auto Parts and Repairs, located at Southern Main Road, Couva, opposite the Anglican School. Top Gear specializes in tune-ups, injector cleaning, transmission flush, brakes and suspension repairs, vehicle diagnostics, wheel alignment, balancing, and all general auto maintenance. Call Top Gear on 271-6525. Top Gear, your one-stop shop at Southern Main Road, Couva, opposite the Anglican School.
Yeah, boy!
A fast car, I wanted to get to anywhere.
Blessed good afternoon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslim community. And of course, we continue to wish you Ramadan Mubarak as you continue your fast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we want to welcome you first of all to U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, douglAR Radio. Of course, I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you. We appreciate your phone calls, and therefore we welcome you this afternoon to continue to participate in this program where we bring facts and we leave Brownie and Girl Guides business alone. Facts we bring on this station here.
Not F-A-X, eh?
Yeah, not F. Keith Rowley, boy. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, today, 7:30 will be crossing over to douglAR politics. The Honorable Senator Anil Roberts will disseminate his information and dissect it and bring it into your hearing, where you would be able to continue be educated on such national important issues. Well, I want to start first of all today, ladies and gentlemen, by asking a few questions. And the first question that I will want to ask is, how far the contamination into the independent institution by the Prime Minister of this country, by the PNM intervention, how far has this contamination spread in relation, Corky, to independent institutions? We know for a fact that the contamination in this scenario, it is not from bottoms up, but it is from head down. And the reason for me concluding that this is from head down is simply because the president of our Twin Island Republic, who is charged with the responsibility to protect our constitution, that individual have decimated our constitution. That is what this woman had done. Ladies and gentlemen, this president mash up the constitution of our country. This president break up the constitution of our country. This president, ladies and gentlemen, must be held culpable for her actions in relation to this existing constitutional crisis that now exists in the public domain. We have also understand that the contamination has spread throughout the independent bench of our parliament. The contamination has spread throughout the independent benches, which is overseen, which is appointed by the president of our country. You see, if the head of the body is contaminated, then the rest of the body will only produce contamination. Let me say it again. If the head of the body is contaminated, then the rest of the body, the hand, the foot, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, it will only bring forth contamination. So the independent bench is also contaminated with the PNM virus. The office of the commissioner, it is also contaminated with the PNM virus, because coming out of the contamination or the contaminated behavior of the president, it caused a contamination in the Police Service Commission, and therefore, as a result of that, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a contaminated office of the Commissioner of Police. How far has this contamination spread? Well, I want to jot or to bring to your attention that the Honorable Senator David Naked writes to the another independent institution, and that institution is charged with the responsibility of prosecution, the Director of Public Prosecution. That is the place where the other contaminated institution will send their files and will wait directions from the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, and therefore charges will be preferred against individuals who have infringed on the law, on the constitution, on the rule of law in our country. Senator David Naked have since dispatched a third letter after he have not received any response or any form of correspondence in relation to the letters that he had wrote to the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Roger Gaspard, Senior Counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, Winshaw Building, 2428 Richmond Street, Port of Spain. Senator Naked read two previous letters dated the 14th of March 2022 and the 22nd of March 2022. Dear Mr. Gaspard, reference is made to my two previous letters to you dated the 14th and the 23rd respectively. It is with regret and restraint that I have taken the decision to write to you again on the same issue raised in my previous letter aforementioned. I wish to reiterate that my decision to write to you requesting that you take steps to do whatever is necessary to have an investigation commence into the admitted misbehavior of the Prime Minister is a decision made after consideration of all possible alternatives given the unique circumstances. This is a letter that David Naked a follow-up letter after he have received no response from the Director of Public Prosecution in relation to Keith Rowley confession in light of the interference, the interfacing, and the destruction of a legal merit list that was sent to the president, where the constitution of our country have not in no way whatsoever granted the president any form of discretion or authority to retract, to take back, to give back the merit list that was submitted to her legally by the chairman, Blitzy Prasad, after this great interference, this great misbehavior in public office by the Prime Minister in order to have Gary Griffith fired. Ladies and gentlemen, this will not go away. This will not go away. We will not allow this to go away. You see, the Constitution being the highest standard of regulations, the Constitution, which is a legal binding document, which all of Trinidad and Tobago, and not only all of Trinidad and Tobago, but any visitor, whether it is national or international, any visitor that comes to our country must obey the laws that is set out as a result of our Constitution. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have been asking for months. I have been asking for months as to how far this contamination, how far this disease, how far this PNMite behavior in relation to perverting the course of justice, in relation to malicious prosecution, in relation to our statute that have been set out within this document, where even the president, the prime minister, the commissioner of police, the director of public prosecution, all must adhere to this document. Today, ladies and gentlemen, how far this contamination spread. You see, I remember a situation where Faris Alwari had entered into an agreement with Queen's Counsel Nelson in relation to prosecuting two UNC ex-senators. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, that when this document surfaced, I remember coming out of the Director of Public Prosecution Office that he was allegedly saying that the only office have the authority to enter into any form of bargaining, any form of discretion, any form, ladies and gentlemen, in protecting or using anyone as a state witness. I could remember, and I know according to law, that the Attorney General of this country do not have the legal lawful authority to enter into any agreement, any bargaining agreement with any convict, with any individual who the Director of Public Prosecution may choose to use as a witness witness in any given matter, the Attorney General have no say. I am saying today, what is the status of that investigation with the document that was put out in the public domain where Faris Alwari allegedly enter into an agreement with Queen's Counsel Nelson convicted in order to lock up 2 UNC senators. I also remember that Faris Alwari which refused to pay this same Queen's Counsel the money that was owed to him for work that he had carried out between 2010 and 15. I remember Faris Alwari had filed documentation in the High Court in order not to pay. But lo and behold, after this negotiation and an agreement was reached, next thing we know is that over $11 million were paid to Queen's Counsel Nelson, and to the end of the day, a document service where he was promised that no type of prosecution would be brought against him, even though if he lie. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, even though if he lie, no lawsuit, he would have been protected by the Office of the Attorney General. It was further stated in a document that any legal ratification in relation to cost and otherwise that the Office of the Attorney General would have taken up that cost. I want to ask the DPP today, just as Senator Naked asking what is the position with the letters in relation to Rowley confessing that he was the man who interferes and interfere. What is the position with that investigation? Senator Naked deserve a response. Senator Naked is within his constitutional rights to write to you, Mr. DPP, and to demand a response, Mr. DPP, because you, Mr. DPP, is not accountable to yourself, Mr. DPP. You are accountable to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and therefore you must carry out your duty according to the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, not according to any political party. You see, there is a reason why the Constitution set out that independency, especially in relation to prosecution, in relation to arrests, in relation to locking up people in this country. Because if the Constitution did not set it out clearly, then we would have a prime minister who put in all of us under arrest for speaking out against the level of corruption in this country. We coming to take your calls just now, but hold on. Let me clear this up. We coming to take everybody call just now. So ladies and gentlemen, Senator Naked is asking, what is the position, Mr. DPP, with the letters that was sent to you on these previous dates, and to date there is no response? Senator Naked, probably the DPP busy, probably the response in the mail, probably all that, you know, probably all that. But let me tell you what I know. If it's to lock up one of us, the response will be immediately. Immediately. That is what the response would be. I am calling for the same response to lock up corrupted politician. I am calling for the same response to lock up those who have interfered and interfaced and mash up a legal constituted entity as the Police Service Commission. Where are those investigations? Where are those investigations? Why today we are not hearing that Bliss Sipasad and others have been interviewed by the police and a file sent to the DPP, and the DPP is deliberating and looking at the aspect of laws and the infringement in whatever law may be infringed during this process, and therefore the people of Trinidad and Tobago would be able to get some sort of justice. Because if it was you, the man on the street, who have breached the Constitution, I am saying to you that you would have been before the courts already. You would have been there already. I am asking a question. We have a file somewhere within the precincts of the TTPS. Gary Griffith, on his exit, said to this country that the A&V oil matter, it is a police matter, and the investigation would be continuing. They were seeking funds to have an international individual to come in and carry out a forensic audit, measurement, whatever you want to call it, in relation to the reservoir within the Catskill area. Today we are asking Jacob, what is the position with those investigations? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, I know of a man who was taking water from a water well in Sincline, and he was arrested, and he was taking water filling a tank on a truck. And if he was arrested, whether it be for tampering, interfering without consent, but filling water from a water well that belongs to the state, and he was arrested, what is the position with the police matter in relation to this fake oil scandal? I am asking today, how far the contamination spread with the PNM virus. And I am saying, Senator David Naked, that I believe that the DPP office, that it is an independent office. I believe, Senator Naked, that there is no contamination in the DPP office. I am saying, I believe there is no contamination. And I want to tell you why I'm saying that. I'm saying that until we are able to prove otherwise. I am saying that until we are able to prove otherwise, because we have the Chinese Gate investigation, and I am now calling for investigation into the Beetham paving project, where Fitzgerald Hines state that it will cost, they are paying $12 million to pave a piece of road. Hines, what a square meter for paving? What a ton for hot mix? Because if you are paving the area that was excavated, the collapsed area, a matter of fact, you could pave the whole Abitum, and I am telling you, it cannot cause the state $12 million. I am saying investigations and more investigations. Tell me what you think, Jeffrey. Tell me what you think Senator Naked wrote to the DPP. This is the third time. Inquiring what is the position with the two previous letters in relation to Keith Rowley admitting that he was the man that had conversation.
And no investigation.
Wait.
No response.
Well, what no response mean, Koki? What no response mean?
No response.
Somebody tell me, callers, the lines are open.
Yes. 218
The lines are open.
218
I lost for words with that. I don't, 3 letters they say.
3 letters.
Yes, boy.
No response. I know in the court.
So what about the Freedom of Information Act? It didn't apply here?
Take that call. Let me hear what's going on here.
Yes,
Let me hear what's going on here this evening. Welcome, caller.
Good evening,
Good evening, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Corky.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are Jeffrey here too.
And Jeffrey, to all your listeners.
Yes, good evening.
All you remembering, and I remember too, you know.
Yes.
I remember an opposition leader in 2013 bring some fake information inside Parliament called Emailgate. He went into the direction of Max Richard, the president who run him. He went and have coffee with the chairman of the Integrity Commission. To have coffee too. He went all over the place. Now, I hear him having several commissioners of inquiry, right? He have Faria. With the other one, he had one with Ventor down in the highway. I want him to have a commission inquiry to clear his name. We can't always call him a liar. You understand what I'm saying? So he have everybody, okay, one going to the great beyond, that's Max Richard, but he have all the players. He had Taipans who was running left, right, and center. He have Smallpin who was the right-hand man. He even have an integrity commissioner who is a judge who said there isn't an email, but the contents in the email is right. So all of them fellas could come together now, have a commission inquiry to clear the man's name, else he will go to hell as a liar. And you know what St. Peter will do him? Karma will take him there, right? So all you remember him, and I remember him too, you know. I go on, have a nice day.
The lines open, people. Let me hear what is all it take. What is happening with all these investigations that we cannot get no answers, we cannot get no response. But where 218-7782
7762.
sorry, 218-7762. What make me change that number?
You working TTS here?
Like I work in TTS.
No, but I was asking somebody Freedom of Information Act. That don't apply with how Senator Naked would have sent the letter to him.
Well, no. What will happen there? This is a letter from the senator to the director of public prosecution. Take the call. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Roberts.
Good day,
Good evening, Corky, Jeffries, and everybody out there. Good evening, Mr. Roberts.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you believe that the DPP office is not contaminated, I have some swampland at the back of my house to sell. As we are seeing from way back, Mr. Roberts, where is the case against Karen Nunez Teixeira and Andre Montal for insider trading?
But what about
Where
Camille
is
Robinson
it?
Regis?
Beg pardon?
What about the case with Camille Robinson Regis?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm coming forward. Oh, yeah, we still have to go out with the credit card.
Right.
Right, yeah. You understand? Where are the cases? Where is the case against Keith Rowley and Landit? Because the Sealy report said that a crime was committed and somebody should be charged. It is still sitting on the DPP's desk. We saw the case against Manning, and that place in the church in Guanapo was thrown out because he said Manning was too sick to take to court. I said do him like Hosni Mubarak and take him in on a stretcher. But the man was able to Spain to San Fernando. You understand? And he couldn't face the court. Now we have seen a piece of the case against Mary McDonald is being thrown out as well. It is my firm belief that anything, there is a Bermuda Triangle in the DPP's office, that anything concerning the PNM, it disappears. It disappears into that triangle. Because have you noticed nothing against the PNM? It's coming up, absolutely nothing. Look at how many cases. We have the A&V drilling, as you mentioned in there. We have the INS gate, so many things. This thing with Kit Rowley and the Integrity Commission form, what it is really going on. So it's one set of rules for the PNM and a next set for other different strokes for PNM folks. They can do what they want and get away with it. And let me tell you something, Mr. Roberts. Kit Rowley know why he's not moving Fitzgerald Hines. Because he used Fitzgerald Hines to sync up the UNC. Because just recently we heard him saying that it was UNC misfits and calling UNC a whole lot of names that tried to thief out the material and to fix up the beat-up. Now we are hearing 12 million to pave a road. Is it paved with gold now for the intentions of the beat-up people? No, something is definitely wrong. Something is going wrong in this place. Why is there only one set of rules for one and the different set for next set? Now he come to tell us that it was only used to spy on criminals. Yeah, right. I hope the criminals include the ones who thieving out all Caroni land, accuse themselves. Because apparently they feel that we stupid in this country. That because we know Mr. Roberts, Kid Rowley's a liar. He's a liar. Nobody who wants to believe him, let them go right ahead. But I take everything that he said with his tiny pinches hold. Thanks a lot and have a good evening.
Thank you, Miss Santa Cruz. The lines are open. Take those calls. Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Mr. Robert, I would like to just answer. I am a senior citizen. I am not so up to date with the Facebook and all those things that is beyond the TV. I'd like to listen to the Wednesday night with Amel Robbins and you guys, but what happens after 9 o'clock? Everything is cut off and I cannot get it on the Facebook. Where else can I get it, please?
Right, so it will cut off from the radio at 9 and then you will have to go on douglAR Politics or UNC Library or Facts Not Fiction or on UNC page. Any one of those, because 9 o'clock, the radio could only carry it until 9.
That is what I realize, but I cannot get it on the TV with all this kind of thing. I cannot operate the TV with the Facebook and the YouTube thing. Oh, God. What you leaving to us senior citizens that can,
We have to bring the engineer and...
So here what? My number is 3164468.
Yes.
You could go back and get it. Once I say it here, it will stay on the film. Right. And I could send you some information. I could send you some links that you will just have to go on it and you will get on.
Let me hear that number again, please. I have a pen and something to write it on.
Phone as
Yeah.
well, cell phone.
Tell me when you're ready.
Oh, Lord.
Once you have internet and you have your cell phone, or smart TV. Long time TV is what stupid TV, but now we have smart TV.
316.
Hello?
You there?
Yes, she's there.
Mom's you there?
Yes, she's right
Children are not being kept with what is happening with the UNC.
All right, take the number. You ready?
Yeah, I get it.
316.
316.
4468.
4468. And that I will get you. What?
Right, yeah. 316 44
Yes.
68.
4468?
Yeah, 68.
All right.
Yeah, okay. And who do I ask for?
Victor Roberts.
Mr. You're Victor
Yes,
Roberts.
I am Victor Roberts.
Oh, God,
And
yes.
I will
to
send
you
a-
and Anel. Oh, God, both are earlier such darlings.
Yeah, thank you. So I will
Yes.
I'll send some link for you, and you just have to touch it, and you will get in.
All right,
All right,
good.
thank you,
We
thank you.
senior citizens, we are not getting the correct update with the UNC because of the same problem. No,
All right,
you know,
we'll
we
fix
do into the other things to get the news. And I am certain a lot of people are going to be listening to this call, and they will probably do the same. Thanks a
problem.
million, and continue with all the good work.
Thank you, ma'am, and be safe. God bless. Take this call. Welcome, caller.
Yes, man. It's Silver Fox. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Now, we have to understand this. Trinidad and Tobago, we have to understand something here. We have to get Keith Rowley. We have to come out and get Keith Rowley out of office. Let me tell you something. It will have nothing, no crime, nothing will solve against Keith Christopher Rowley once Rowley is in power. We have to understand, it's alleged that Rowley wants to turn president, and if Rowley turns president while he is in power here, and we leave him, hell smoke Trinidad and Tobago pipe if Rowley turn president, because all them laws Rowley will change, and no justice will not be done to anybody. The law will be only, Rowley will be like Mugabe and all them kind of men, law unto themselves. Right? We have to understand that we have to get together, all of us bind together, come out on the street, and stop Keith Christopher Rowley once and for all. That man is a runaway. Satan kick him out from heaven and he come down on earth. And we have to kick him out now with his devil angels out of office.
Well, Satan could only kick him out of hell. He can't kick him out of heaven.
Well, we kicking him out. We kick him out from up there and send him down here because start to sing now. Right? And we have to understand. We have to take this thing serious. We're sleeping too long. We are sleeping too long. If Christopher Rowley turned president, Trinidad and Tobago done. We're done. Rowley and them not moving again. You could do what you want. We was a nice twin island before Rowley take over. Rowley take over to mash we up. Rowley is not interested about Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley have some vendetta in his mind. He's an evil man from since small. Rowley don't like black people. Rowley grew up with Rowley went to school and he's only the Koreans and them, the kind of white people he was liming with in school. Rowley and my aunt was in school together. Hear what I say in Trinidad. Rowley don't like all you. He don't like all you. Rowley don't like all you. God, are you not understanding?
Fox.
Yes.
I had to stop you right there. We're going for the break and come back.
All right.
Yes. Oh, you man say you don't like nobody, boy.
Son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
Eddie's Pharmacy Limited, we have a selection of all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs to complement your wellness. Every product we carry is vetted and approved by our pharmacists who will be happy to assist you. With branches at C3 Mall inside JTA Supermarket, 1135 SS Erin Road in Pinal, and 54 Rocha Douglas Road in Barrackpore. We offer services such as blood pressure testing, blood sugar testing, cholesterol testing, and also offer a wide variety of pregnancy test kits. We accept most major health insurances. For further information, contact Eddie's Pharmacy at any of our 3 branches. C3 Mall, contact number 228-4990, 54 Rocha Douglas Road in Barrackpore at 654-2655. Or SS Erin Road in Pinal, 647-0778, Eddie's Pharmacy Limited.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
This season of Lent, get more options from Royal Castle with their 3 tasty meal specials. Meals made with the freshest fish, seasoned with the Castle's appetizing Trini ingredients and cooked to golden perfection. Choose from the fish combo, 2 succulent pieces of fish, 1 side and a 16-ounce soft drink, or the fish sandwich combo of a tender, tasty sandwich, 1 side and a 16-ounce soft drink, or even a flavorful veggie combo option of a sandwich, a side and a 16-ounce soft drink. Get more options from Royal Castle. Our culture, our taste for Lent.
Sport is in trouble. What can be done to save sports in TNT? Join host Gordon Pear on Sports Insight every Monday and Wednesday on MCTV from 4:30 p.m. as he identifies the problems, look for solutions and points the way forward. Sports Insight, where we talk to the coaches, athletes, administrators, and of course, you the fans, as we bring positive change through sport.
In this month, close to 2 billion Muslims worldwide observe Ramadan, their most holy and beloved month, yet most difficult. 30 days of fasting from food and drink and praying build mental fortitude and closeness to Allah. There is a lesson in their sacrifice, discipline, and faith, a motivation to us all to be resilient and look forward to a brighter day. Just as the hunger of Ramadan ends with the joys of Eid, it is our prayer that the power of this holy month inspire humanity to awaken, to remember God, and to make this world a better place. Ramadan Mubarak to our Islamic community and our nation from your Royal Castle.
Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Join me, Anthony Jules, on Late Nights with Jules, only on MCTV. New guests every week, activity, games, hot topics, a lot of discussions. You don't want to miss it. Tune in and join me only on MCTV, 9 p.m. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Calling every human.
The local Palooza show and countdown. Now showing on MCTV. Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees Hi-Fi, the metal merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza show and countdown on MCTV. The local Palooza show and countdown.
U975 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio and Multicultural Television MCTV, bringing you back where you belong. Part of the Rhythms Communications Network. To advertise with us, call 218-7820.
Welcome back. We're taking this call one time. Welcome, caller.
Nice, Mr. Robert, Oki, and Jeffries. I want to take the battle from the young lady from Santa Cruz, Miss Santa Cruz, and I want to go back to the email gate issue. You know, the PPP office as far as I can remember, never made a pronouncement on email gate. So I don't know if they have the file open or if it have a close. But the current DPP was a DPP in default, you know, a relic out of the Sat Sharma issue. And people have to understand he wasn't the preferred, but he got into the position as default because the DPP there, Manning, vetoed that young lady. And the other DPP who was there, that is the one they call who went abroad and come back as a judge in some international court. And right now he's sitting in chambers there. And I want to find out from Vera if that fella was one of the judges who call him. Because I find it past. The CJI say nothing about that investigation that the honorable opposition leader wrote him on to find out who are these. We have to be very careful. So we have to light some fire under this president's DPP. He's not doing what he wants. And is he battling for one side and not being apolitical and doing the thing that is required for this nation to move forward? Go and have a nice night.
218-7762. The lines are open. douglAR Politics will be coming up in the next 15 minutes. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Victor.
Why don't you Palace come and tell me about you today?
Yeah, man. Good evening, Jeffrey. Good evening, Cookie. How are you doing? Very good. Two short points. Short and sweet.
Sound effect. Yeah, go ahead.
Number one, the PNM political meetings, right? You notice that they happen it in the strong areas. Not areas that they win it. The strong areas. So they had to go in Laban, so they had to go next to the office in Diego Martin, etc., etc. Do you know, in those meetings, they have to hold up a sign saying applause, applause, applause? Because the people are even clapping in the meetings.
I want picture that sign. I want that picture. Yeah. See if you get somebody to take that picture from me. I want picture that sign.
I'll work on it, Victor. Don't worry. I will send it to Anil, but I'm working on it. And also, on virtually, on all these social media platforms, wherever, on YouTube, etc., do you know that they mute the comment section? They disable it? They don't want nobody send no comments?
Yes, that's very true.
Understandably so. And if you watch the amount of viewers they have, is in the 5, 10, 11, 12. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that alone will tell you about their viewership, right? Point number 2. Now, we don't even have to go as far as the DPP and all this madness with all these investigations, you know. It started with some two nice little light-skinned children holding high-powered rifles in Komoto.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very strange that the strange death regarding a gentleman by the name of 27 years service in the regiment, Omar Samaru, and I think it was Lieutenant Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Up to now, we can't even find out what is the status regarding their mysterious death and whether that was his children.
But you know who investigate Samaru death? The same man who the Prime Minister appointed to investigate the two-man committee to investigate the firearms business with Gary Griffith.
Stanley John, yeah.
No. Wasn't Stanley John alone? Was two men. One is a retired, one of the individual is a retired man who was in charge of the Defense Force.
Uh-huh.
Right? Go back and check the files and see who did the investigation with Samaru. Who said it was suicide. And if you go back and check that, you will catch that same man being a part of the Gary Griffith investigation, who was handpicked and appointed by the Prime Minister. You will also find that same gentleman own a big apartment for how much $1 million in a certain area. But brother, is a whole game. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of thing, Jeffrey, that it is seeing Mission Impossible, James Bond, you know, massive corruption, massive conspiracy theory. This is the kind of thing that, like I said already, kind of cult that the PNM has created, that the Nazis, the KGB, and the KKK will be jealous of. Thank you.
But before, all right, you're going already. But let me ask you this for your brain to click. You remember it had a certain High Court judge who was accused of receiving money from Dole Shady. When I remember his name one of these days, you must tell me who is that judge.
I feel I know that name.
Welcome, caller.
Mr. Call.
Yes, and yeah, partner. When I remember, you could call me and tell me who is that High Court judge who was accused of taking money from Dole Shady. Anytime you remember, you could tell me. Let me take this call. Welcome, caller.
Hi, good night again, Mr. Robert.
Go ahead, Mr. Alakis.
You mean the same one who bought the apartment in Victoria Keys for gas?
Hey, Mr. Alakis, I love you too, man, yes?
Yeah, no, man. And the same one who Rowley bought his leave from. But when the UNC had bought out Kenrick Marajon, Rowley said it was corruption. But when Rowley turned around and doing the same thing, it's not corruption. He set it on the right hand of God. But Mr. Roberts, what I call it to remind you about too, the biggest shame on the DPP office is this thing with Faris and Vincent Nelson. Up to now, we have not heard the DPP knew that he was left out of anything when he should have been informed. Mrs. Prasad Bisasa wrote the DPP concerning it, and you want to tell me up to today, Faris has been removed from the AG's office, and up to now, we can't hear a word from that DPP about what it is going on with that thing with Vincent Nelson. But you know what, Mr. Roberts? Thank God we don't depend on man for justice, you know. We depend on God. Thanks a lot.
And Ms. Santa Cruz, while I'm taking this call, I'm waiting to see what is the deal that the DPP make, and then I will make a pronouncement. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good day, sir.
Mr. Roberts, Mr. Jeffrey, and Ryan.
Okay.
Mr. Roberts, I want to present to you two scenarios.
Right.
You selling motor cars, and I am the big man in politics.
Right.
You selling cars for $1.5 million each. But I, the big man in politics, you sell it to me for $1 million each.
That sounds like a house in Tobago, boy.
So you lose out 500,000 twice, all right?
Yeah.
But I, the big man in politics, so I give you a big government project, the true value of which is only $1 million, but I give you the contract for $10 million.
Tell me something.
Wow.
So you know who pay for that?
Of course, you and I.
Taxpayers.
Exactly.
The next scenario. Big man in politics again. I have no money to build no big building worth $40 million. But use the contractor.
That sounds like Balizi house, boy.
You the contractor. You building it for me for free. But I in turn around and give you some big contracts which really worth $100 million, but I paying you $200 million for that.
Wow.
You know who paying for that again?
Yes, sir. You and I.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. And added to that, the contract that you gave me, part of it collapsed on the mosquito crack. Take the call now, man. Take the call. The thing nice. Welcome, caller.
Read between the lines.
Mr. Victor Roberts.
Yes, sir. Good night.
And Mr. Jeffrey.
Yes, good evening.
And Mr. Koki, a blessed night to you.
Yes, sir. Same to you.
You see, there is no independent place in this country. If you watch, you think Patrick Manning was any different than Mr. Rowley? All these people learn the evil from upstairs. From then to now, 60 years. And when you watch the DPP, who put him there for lifetime? Who put the Chief Justice for lifetime? When they put Mr. Sharma for lifetime and they ask him, Patrick say, go and do that for me. He say, no. Who is bigger than who? He fire him. He throw him out. And when you talk, everybody in the high places, the era just come to an end. You see what happened to Mr. Alwari? I mean, the Attorney General, he time come and he go on. Mr. Rowley shortening his time. His era is coming to an end. Because every time he just talk about Mrs. Campbell. and da. And people laughing down and not one issue. Why flour going up? Why rice going up? Why hospital this? Why nothing showing the taxpayers what they're doing with their money.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, man.
And only tick for that. And the people, oh God, people, it's your money you're sweating for.
Yeah.
And we hire them to do our job. And when they cannot do it, you see David Knapp, kid? I think people should come out for that ghost man, the DPP, Gaspar. You know the little ghost man Gaspar and the big set of Gaspars?
Yeah, Caspar.
Yeah. Them fellas, we supposed to come out now. We have to come out. Yeah. We must. Miss David, he stand up for a raw truth. Yeah. Honesty is the policy. And if we cannot stand up for honesty, we are encouraging evil upon our very own self. And God, nobody cannot stay in high places for long. Have a blessed and wonderful night.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller. Take the call. We're going to do douglAR politics in the next 5 minutes.
All right, put this inside. Last because I have to listen to douglAR politics. Listen to me. The DPP say one of the charges against the big lady gone, right? No, listen to my argument properly. Before you charge any high-profile politician, doesn't the DPP office vet what's going on?
They is the one who gave the instruction and charge the lady.
So how can he give an instruction to charge and now he come back and he say he dropping it? You tell me, is that incompetency? Is that misbehavior in public office? Or he doing a favor for a partner, the big man himself, the vaccine vegan, AK Pipinian? You understand? If they say nothing is wrong with you, they're going in election and saying, hey, we clean, look what the DPP do, and then people set it up. I'm going to have a nice night.
Thank you, caller. The line's open. 2 minutes. Welcome, caller.
Hello?
Yes,
welcome, caller.
Yes, this is Rita Roberts.
Speaking.
Yes, Rita Roberts. I want to say something as an elderly woman. But what is she Rowley doing here now? Rowley, Karen Samara gone. Now he wants to bring him back inside. There's something going on, something they have to hide. Because the same thing you do with Gary, the same thing you're going to do here with this thing again. And the people not standing up for their right in this country, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, mommy. You're correct.
People not, and we going down a road where we should never go down. Nothing is good in this country. Nothing compelled go back right. Nothing is working.
Yeah.
The children get no work. The children cannot go to school. The education system, everything down, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And we don't know what. I only hope everybody come out of this push back on next week Saturday, you know, Mr. Roberts.
They go come out, don't worry.
This is the only, because what happened, the Hindu committee, right now the Hindu committee fasted for the 9 days Navratri, and then on the Saturday, the 16th, we have Hanuman Jayanti.
All right.
So all now we fasting, you understand?
Yeah. All right,
so
mommy.
I will be there, but I'll be there not for too long.
All right, no problem. God's willing, all right?
I get no long. I want to get in the Roberts. You have a number I'll get to you personally?
Yes, my number is 316-4468.
316?
Yeah, 316-4468.
316-4468?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless.
Good work.
God bless. Thank you. All right, so we moving straight to douglAR politics. Archie, stand by. On my clock here is 7:28. I know we have a lag somewhere behind. My clock here is 7:28. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Tomorrow, please God, we'll be right here at 6:15. Well, let us say we'll be starting at 6:20 because of the respect for the Muslim community. Of course, there is an ad that will be running.
douglAR politics. Listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yeah.
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. This is a country where this is your Prime Minister. This is the intelligence that has us falling apart. This is your Prime Minister. And to all of the PNM, don't try to play, oh, he was joking, you know. Check his face, look at his face, he vexed, he in the flow. You know when he lying and he defending things, he just pretend he's feigning anger and he's come out with arrogance. Well, boy, back to school, boy, Rowley. You big dunce, Ranidachi.
The pronunciation of the day starts with F.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the facts, F-A-X.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
I don't know what's going on, but kids, stay in school.
F.
Wow. How sad. The funny thing is, many of you clowns there in PNM Red, all your crap, the FAX, and isn't it funny? I listen to all the radio stations, you know. I love to relax and hear my music, young people music, the rubber dub style, the thing, and they have plenty talk show and so on all them radio stations. It ain't no topic. Could you imagine if Kamala Persad-Bissessar, as Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, had said those are the facts, FAX? Could you imagine the radio talk shows across the board, the ridicule, the laughter, the fun? I'm listening. I can't hear this big clown, and I ask you, Keith Christopher Rowley, once again, are you receiving treatment at St. Clair for dementia, for the early stages of dementia? Yes or no? FAX man? Still not a brass cent for Dennis Lawrence of the TTFA. Haddad, Mr. Billionaire, Mr. Man who come to take over football, Mr. Arrogant PNM, Mr. Dunderhead, Mr. Terry Fennick friend. You're talking about creditors to be paid, but you drawing your salary, you and your committee. Let me see. There was a letter by Mike Berry. Mike Berry in the Sunshine newspaper printed and said, the abysmal treatment of the national hero Dennis Lawrence is nothing short of a disgrace and reflects badly on several individuals. And for you who don't know who Dennis Lawrence is, Dennis Lawrence, tallest, Dwight York, to take the corner in Bahrain. Dwight York, there are 27,000 Bahraini fans and 225 shouting Trinidadian and Tobagonian fans in Bahrain. The winner goes forward to World Cup 2006 Germany. Dwight York with the corner. And rising up, it's Dennis Lawrence. Oh, what a header! It's a goal! Trinidad and Tobago into the World Cup. That's Dennis Lawrence. Do you all now know who he is? And these fools, this Haddad, this normalization PNM committee with the man who is also in charge of PNM NFM who only raising flour price and then say he make a profit of an increase in profits of 5.1%. Them pay Dennis Lawrence a cent, but Fennick get money. That big goat Fennick who make we draw with Puerto Rico and Bahamas, that Since his termination in December 2019, Dennis has not received even one brass cent of the money owing to him, including, unbelievably, his win bonus for the iconic World Cup qualifying victory over the mighty USA in October 2017. Imagine Dennis Lawrence in a World Cup qualifier that mattered to the USA, beat USA at the Atto Bolden Stadium, and his win bonus, yeah, him get the money for that. Well done, Haddad, boy. Where you going to bring more ice cream? You're going to sell more shrimps and fish from Venezuela? Keith Lucloy and his acolytes relished in a swift termination of Dennis Lawrence's contract by way of a kangaroo court, even though they could not afford it in their unholy haste to appoint their favored choice of the controversial Terry Fennick. That turned out well, didn't it? Locloy went from stating he was the best man for the job, meaning Fenwick, to apologizing to the nation after the debacle of a 0-0 draw against the mighty Bahamas. The mighty Bahamas rank 103 in the world. Then along comes Haddad and company, who have been a disaster for Trinidad and Tobago football, in my opinion, says Mike Berry. Their opaque communication and lack of football experience have spread the cancer of distrust throughout the TNT football fraternity. Having communicated with Haddad in particular, it is quite clear that he is not a footballing person and is prone to bouts of hot-headedness by his own admission on regular occasions, which clouds his judgment and decision-making on many occasions. This a guy who described the 7-0 record equaling curtail by USA of a great marketing opportunity. He also was involved in the incredibly weak decision to take no action against his friend Terry Fenwick after the abusive language and headbutt assault at the infamous press conference in spite of witnesses to the contrary. I wonder how much bang for their buck FIFA has received after paying him, meaning Haddad, the billionaire Haddad, and his posse, the princely sum of US $18,000 per month for their services over a 3-year tenure. $18,000 a month US for them clowns. And they can't even pay maxi man and caterer and ball handlers and coach and assistant coach and trainer and people who provide little services. Well, KFC, the CEO said, we got it wrong with the condiment policy. Well, my people of Trinidad and Tobago, I'm so proud of y'all. We stood together, we united against that $2 condiment fiasco, and we got justice. Imagine we can unite for ketchup, but we cannot unite against the facts. Seriously? I see this picture here, Archie. I ain't know if you could come in, you know. Clarence, you come back from Canada so far, so you never went. And you and Amory Brown now all of a sudden eating doubles? I thought you said doubles is not no local ingredients and so on. You bad talk doubles, Clarence. Rowley say what's so special about doubles? And any chance all you get, all you taking picture eating doubles? All you should choke. Agriculture Ministry to probe wildflower park claims. Really? The Horticultural Division of the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries has said it will investigate claims by activist Philip Edward Alexander that the public was being turned away by security from Wildflower Park. So all you need Philip Alexander to get a report from a citizen who was turned away to then go and show, man dig up the ground, man put in thing, man put their own camera facing their own house, dig up road, dig up bump, run wires through underneath the public road into them house, and all you in the Ministry of Agriculture, Horticultural Division who put up signs to tell people all kind of thing, now going to investigate because Philip do a video. That's brilliant governance. It's amazing. Y'all are really in the know, guys. Y'all are really on the ball. You're really on top of things. Group to government. Imagine this. Stop neglecting people with autism. As the United Nations celebrated World Autism Day yesterday, one of Trinidad and Tobago's most well-known autism support networks, Support Autism TNT, called on the government to stop neglecting people with autism. PNM, neglecting people with autism, neglecting differently abled people, cutting. I better tell all you know, elections have consequences. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar says, Kamala, she pleads with the government to help autistic children. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad-Bissessar is asking government to help children with autism achieve their full potential. Autism refers to a series of conditions related to cognitive development. In a statement to commemorate World Autism Day on Saturday, Prasad-Bissessar said, Trinidad and Tobago has made strides in recognizing that children with autism require special care and attention, but she added more work needs to be done. If we are truly to achieve inclusive quality of education for all, parents with autistic children face lengthy delays in diagnosis as well as significant costs associated with therapy and education. This, she continued, means autistic children are especially vulnerable to falling out of the education system. And she continued, but what I would say is that Kamala was there. Kamala had cabinet note to increase autistic grants to children and give them up to $1,500 and pay their school $2,500 for them to go to school in their private capacity. Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM removed that. They did a means test and they start to say if parents have a good job, they took away the grant for the autistic child. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar says whether your parent makes money, makes no money, is irrelevant. An autistic child is an autistic child. But these clowns here come and they have no heart, no soul, no compassion, no empathy. Imagine autistic children have to be begging for support from the PNM government. Now, Archie, I don't know what to say. Trinidad and Tobago, we are overdoing. Our irresponsibility and our immaturity is costing our children their lives. I just spoke on Saturday when a beautiful, intelligent 7-year-old boy lost his life, lost the ability to dream, lost the ability to achieve and live and enjoy life and grow up because of irresponsibility of adults in monitoring, understanding the awesome responsibility of having pool, and when you have children, of monitoring them. And no sooner had I finished talking that now a 3-year-old precious little baby is gone. Actually remind them of what I said on Saturday, because I am getting sick and tired of this, Run it. Now, I'm very sad. I'm fed up of these things. I'm fed up. But I have to tell you all again. Couva boy drowns at grandparents' table and home. A 7-year-old Couva boy is believed to have drowned at the back of his grandparents' home in Tableland. Isaiah Josiah was declared dead on Tuesday after being fished out of the family's swimming pool. A swimming pool, if you are too irresponsible to have a swimming pool, do not put a swimming pool in your yard. My daughter could swim since she's 11 months old. I just take her to the beach, Maracas, she goes in with me. My eye is always on her, even though she could swim proficiently. If you're in a pool, my eyes on her. A pool is not a joke. When you have a pool, if you are not capable or able to put your undivided attention on children when they're in the pool, block off the pool and lock it off. Right? If you even have to empty it, empty it. It is not a joke. What is wrong with us? A child could drown in a bucket of water. A 2-year-old could flip over in a bucket of water and drown. These things, we are being irresponsible. I am sick of this. Newsday, Tuesday, April 5th, 2022, page 9. Gasparillo girl 3 found dead in pool. A 3-year-old girl was found unresponsive in an inflatable pool in a home on Monday. That's a picture of the pool. Why is there water in that pool? It's an inflatable pool. When you finish using it, after you monitor the child in the pool, you press down one side with your foot and it empties out. When it gets light enough, you take the other side and you dump out all the water, because 1, you need to keep it empty so it's safe. 2, you don't leave water there, because if you leave the water in there within 24 hours to 48 hours, it's not healthy Thirdly, if you leave water in a pool like that, it becomes a haven for mosquitoes after a few days. So why is that pool there? We're too lazy to empty it. A little cute baby. There was another picture there, you know, Archie, come in here on this little cute, sweet baby that is dead, you know. Because I don't know what to say again. And if you all don't understand that this little baby lost her life because we are irresponsible, we don't care, we don't pay attention, and we don't respect water, we do not understand. We were in charge of taking care and guarding this little precious one's life, and she lost it simply because we were too irresponsible, we were too lazy, we were unable to understand how important it is to keep our surroundings safe. To whoever may be upset or find I am harsh, I'm not being harsh. Archie had to calm me down for 15 minutes before I start recording this. Okay? When children are near or around water, you must monitor them for every second. If you have to go to the toilet, they have to come out and stand up outside the toilet with you, or if they're small, go in the toilet with you. And when you finish in the toilet, you go back to the pool. You do not go and answer a phone or take a message or send a WhatsApp while your child is around or near water. You do not leave pools like that around. I told your children could drown in a bucket of water. Just to show you a little bit, Archie. I just show you, my little daughter could swim real good since 11 months. At 11 months, you could throw her in a pool and she will turn over on her back, kick her feet, breathe and survive, get to the wall and climb out. Since then, she could swim very well. But let me just show you some pictures of a father who knows that his child could swim. Run it, Archie. This is little baby, first and foremost. All right? Then she growing up a little bit. See? Focus. Father holding there. We are around the sea. The water is about 8 meters away. Holding. Focus. She's in a little pool, a little bucket thing there with her dog Pumpkin. Oh, she's in a little jacuzzi. Where's the father? Right there holding. She's in an inflatable pool. Did daddy go and drink a coffee? Or is daddy there looking, playing, holding, monitor? If daddy had to go to the toilet, daddy will have to pick her up and take her to the toilet too, or put her inside, lock that gate, and keep her away from the pool. Just to show you. Now this is the child when she was 4. This child could swim. Run it, Archie. Go. This is her at 4 years old, going underwater because I dropped a little toy about halfway at the pool, 13 meters. She's there looking for the toy, underwater, going to pick up a toy. You should see it. Her favorite color, yellow, like the UNC. Right? Yes, one time we don't play. We have no toys that are red. Excellent. You understand? That is 4 years old. Do you hear that voice? That is the father. Thumbs up, good. Did the father go to the toilet or leave her in the pool or do anything? Show them her doing backstroke at 4 years old. I think this little thing, this little punky, this little cutie pookie, this thing could swim. But where is the father? Is he going to Lime, do a WhatsApp, go and tape douglAR politics, go and make a speech in the Senate? Or is the father right there watching? Even though the little 4-year-old is swimming quite well, don't y'all think? This is not a joke. Y'all need to be serious. Even though she is that competent, she never even now, she's 7.5, going to be 8. She is going to be 8 years old, And I just took her to the beach on Sunday, and she goes not near the water without my eyes on her. If we going past the waves, I am there with her, monitoring. She could swim very well, dive under the waves, go over the waves, swim, whatever. But you, my people of Trinidad and Tobago, all you want pool, all you want all kind of thing, but all you cannot watch your child. You have to go, you have diarrhea, pick up the child and go with the child. Now watch this. And Guardian, you all are promoting this. Archie, come in now. Come in on this picture. This is a picture to say rivers open. It's a little blurry. But if you see someone there, they're diving backwards into a river with rock and thing underneath, with their head exposed, pretending like they are some Olympic champion diver. Stop it! What you ought to show up for? Diving, flipping backwards into a river with rock and thing underneath there to go and bounce your head and end up in the hospital? When are we going to get serious? I am very sorry. Somebody needs to learn a lesson from that little sweet child losing her life. Somebody. And to all you, I don't want to talk about this again. Everybody get your children to a learn to swim program and sit down there and watch them. Even if they are with a teacher or whatever, you sit down there and watch your child while the teacher or the coach is teaching them. Do not take your eyes off your child near a pool. This is really sad. It is depressing. In 4 days, we have lost 2 beautiful children from pure stupidity. Pure, unadulterated stupidity and laziness. As we talk about stupidity, imagine I have to open my newspaper and Keith Christopher Rowley is here receiving an envelope. You know what that is? The report on the blackout, the 12-hour blackout. Really, you need a PR moment for a report on a blackout that left people scared, frightened. And look at Rowley. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley received the independent report on the island-wide power outage. That's necessary. It's a PR stunt, it's a game, or it's a PR moment. People suffer. People lost all their food and meat that they had in the freezer that they can't even afford to buy. Elderly people were left lonely, scared, frightened. People COVID-19, generator ain't working. And this is, y'all find it necessary to do a PR, to pose for a flipping picture? Man, move that now, man. Kamala Prasad Bisesa came out and gave you all some information, very serious information, that this Keith Christopher Rowley, the oppressive dictator, the tyrannical, oppressive, pathological liar, that they have some spying equipment and utilizing it on all of you out there because he want to hold on to power, to procure without procurement, because since 1987, he realized the place to be is the chair of the Prime Minister in order to procure without procurement, for gravel to roll from by a hospital to by you, to control all the resources with your web of friends and family, controlling all the people money. And you all allow that, and you all vote for that. But listen to what Kamala say. Run it, Archie.
Now, some time ago, I had warned you all about the Rowley government acquiring the Israeli software Pegasus program to hack into citizens' WhatsApp communications and other communications. Tonight I can confirm that government did in fact acquire this software, and they have been illegally spying on citizens, various social media platforms, WhatsApps, emails, and so on. A whistleblower has provided me with information regarding this widespread electronic spying. I've also been provided with names of persons who are being spied upon. However, we have been alerting persons privately because of safety concerns. The list of persons being spied on include members of the media, reporters and editors, members of the judiciary, senior judiciary and magistrates, state agencies spying on their own board appointees, trade unions, members of government, yes, they are spying on their own MPs and senators, and of course, they must be spying on the opposition. We know that. It's not the first time. Also being illegally monitored are members of the business community from the chambers of commerce, lawyers associated both with the UNC and the PNM, and of course persons in other political parties. They are also accessing the media, the emails and text messages for these persons and storing it.
Yes. Well, Archie, while I'm talking here, Archie, come pass my phone. I have it charging there, but I want to utilize. You could duck under the camera there and pass my phone for me. I'm giving you hard work because, yeah, go down low. Because let me tell you something. Archie, I go down low, boy, pass that. Archie, boy, go down low. Ben, Archie. Archie again, old boy. But that's all right. I'm going to take out my phone here. All right? Because Keith Rowley, let me tell you something. Let me make a call. This is what you want to hear? Yeah, my brother. Yeah, Rowley. Rowley is the biggest clown on God green earth. Imagine that man was a teacher back in 69 and used his power position to get pum from a girl at school age, boy. And only make him prime minister, boy. Rowley, yeah, man, when he was first in government and Manning put him as a minister, boy, gravel roll from by a hospital to somewhere by he, boy. Rowley, that man could lie here now and small pin, convent girl a bag of dance. Foster Cummings, yeah, he get blown, boy. Rowley blow him out 3 a.m. Yeah, because somebody on the horn, a man, boy. The minister bundles, pelt out, pack all the husband thing in a bag, you know, and put him out, and then come and unpack the bag too when the douglAR bus it. Yeah? And if you're only listening, hey, Fitzgerald, you listening to this? Type it out. You big pumpsy rasta clown. All you want to listen? All you can listen to anything, and they don't care. You understand? But on top of that, Rowley comes to say, spyware is for criminal elements only. Kamala is talking nonsense. Okay? If all you want to believe Rowley, let's hear some other things Rowley came to tell all you. Emailgate is real. And Kamala and government ministers and Gary Griffith and them, they were planning to, they were conspiring to kill a reporter and bug the DPP office. Rowley told you all that. What else did Rowley tell you? Oh, I didn't know who paid the visa as Astroval Chavez. Let me, don't close your fridge, you know. I am not closing down Petrotrin. This is the same man who tell you so. Spyware, nah, it's for criminal elements only. Rowley is the man who tell all you. Bridgman's is crooked money, and it went through the normal cabinet process, and then in the joint select committee come and say, nah, well, it was urgent, so they called me, and I was in Tobago, and small pin, I was in Tobago, and I approve it, like $200 million up to now, and counting, crooked money, HDC, the housing contract, I don't know nothing about that, how that reached cabinet. Oh, who could? I was the minister of housing at the time, the substantive minister. Oh, a cabinet note could only reach when the substantive minister signed the red file and then it goes to cabinet. Oh my goodness. Rowley, the police, I didn't tell all you. Well, I went by the president, but I didn't tell all of that, you know, but I really went and I tell Bliss Seaperson I didn't like and I lost confidence in Gary Griffith, but I could advise the president, you know, I could meet with the president when I want, but no man, I didn't really confess, but I confess. That is who telling all you. Spywares for criminal elements only. I Fitzgerald, you're awake there, boy. What about your integrity in forms, your integrity in Public Life Act forms? Rowley's the man who tell you, well, I don't have to fill out the B, look at it and the A and chicken scratch here and the wrong thing and the wrong value with the wrong thing and did not declare the benefit. That is who all you want to believe? Really? So Keith Rowley, pathological liar, who I'm asking if he is suffering also from dementia and seeking treatment for it, is telling all you, yes, we get the Israeli thing, we have all of that Wakamla say, you know, but no, man, we're not using that to spy on the opposition. We're not using that to spy on the media. We're not using that to spy on our public officers doing their duty. We're not using it like that. Because we don't gerrymander, we don't try to cheat in election, we don't keep people out from voting, we don't tell the EBC how to design seats and how many seats to do in Tobago and how to gerrymander boundaries, and we didn't go Guyana and try to help out that other side that lost. We don't do them thing because that's Rowley. So Rowley tell all you, yes, we have all that capability what Kamala talk about. But don't worry, me Rowley and me Fitzgerald Hines and Small Pin and Al Rawi and Convent Girl and Camille, the cash lady, we will use it. We only using it properly for criminal elements. All you believe that now? And all you believe that? But if it is criminals only under surveillance, Rowley, so you under surveillance? You're surveilling yourself. DCP Jacobs, they tell me don't walk with Jacob because Jacob does walk and shake up. Because the amount of crime that Rowley confessed to, he had to be under surveillance. They had to be monitoring he. But when they monitor he, all they go find out is all who minister wife he dealing with, and all who minister in the cabinet who are husband who he dealing with, and all the pum-pum governance and where he outside children them is. That's where you go find out from he. Coast Guard giving out Archie, put it up nothing. Coast Guard have a low. Coast Guard, what is this? Since when is the Coast Guard giving out media releases once again? Don't you all have a chief of defense staff that you all have to report to? And the chief of defense staff is the only person supposed to give out press releases and statements to the public. All you're breaking down that. Why you all breaking down this now? And Rowley controlling all you? Since all you start to lie and talk about 1,000 hours of boat work in a week, even though a week don't have 1,000 hours, is that what's going on in this dictatorial position, this country of Trinidad and Tobago, where democracy is supposed to reign? But let me tell you why. Archie pop the next one. Look at what Rowley do. Since back when? Since 2016, 2017, when information come out, Rowley didn't say Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, aka Johnny Sukaran, what madness is that? What your children doing there? He attacked the army, and since he attacked the army and bullied the army, all of a sudden, the chief of defense staff and all the army elements, them does only say things that agree with this fool. That is where sweet Trinidad and Tobago is. So all you understand? 5 missing after Vincentian vessel sinks in Bocas and no equipment from the Coast Guard. Coast Guard, all you having a bang up banner here, boy. All you can't get worse than what all you're doing, boy. When they find a body on in the break, all you have no gas to go and get the body to take it out. When you see now a little baby coming across the water, all you're firing and shooting. What about this? We will hear this. All you're beating up Grenadian and so on and getting me in trouble in CARICOM. But we waiting to hear about this because Archie, it's 57 days. Today, which is the 6th now of April 2022, is 57 days since the shooting of the Venezuelan baby, Yaelvis Santoyo Saravia. And we will not rest until we get all the information. Where's the inquiry? Coast Guard? Who investigated? They tell me don't walk with Jacob because Jacob does walk and shake up. Now, Archie, this is amazing, you know. The CSO come out and say the economy grow in 2021 between quarter 1 and 2 by 5.5 billion. Well, if you shrink by 40 billion and then you grow back by 5, you're still short 35 billion. Okay, CSO? And Brian Manning come to say, he see hope, he see light under the tunnel. The only light you see is when you take that boy Randall Mitchell girl. That's the best thing you do. Poor Randall Mitchell. And you take his seat and he girl. That's the only light you get. Let she read a bedtime story for you. Nonsense all you're talking about. Trinidad and Tobago, we have collapsed totally. And them coming to tell me about, oh, there was some growth. Because the construction start back. They say, oh, construction sector from zero to start back working. That showed an 89% increase. But then they have something here. Sunday Express. It's so amazing how the Express and so on tries to prop up incompetence. You all must be fed up of me proving it to you all, but I hope that I am proving it to you too, so you all will understand that this mass media allows you to believe that Keith Rowley deserves to be a prime minister. Keith Rowley, if you lining up all the man above 18 in Trinidad and Tobago, he will be at the last man, the opposite end from where who should be prime minister. That's not a joke. If you line up all the men in Trinidad and Tobago, all, from Golden Grove straight down, from garbage man come straight up to anybody to senior council, line them up and say, based on character, family life, trustworthiness, honesty, track record, intelligence, brilliance, creativity, patriotism, you create the factors and you line up people in a ranking. Keith Rowley will be last in line. All them fellas in Golden Grove go be ahead of Keith Christopher Rowley in the line to be prime minister. But how did he reach there? Because of things like this. Archie, I open Sunday Express. Hear this editorial. Training for jobs. Any investment in education is to be welcomed, especially now when the labor market is in a state of upheaval due to factors ranging from technological change to structural changes in the global economy. In this regard, the 32 million MIC Institute of Technology apprenticeship program announced by Trade and Industry Minister Paulo Gopiskun to meet the needs of the non-energy manufacturing sector would seem to be a step in the right direction. Really? But Archie, 32 million in MIC after the PNM for 6.5 years cut everything in education, closed down MIC centers, closed down NESC centers, cut gate from 726 million down to 320 million, cut laptops, cut school from Montessori, didn't build a school. All of a sudden, the Express says any investment in education is excellent and it's welcome, really, Express? So when Kamla Tim Gopi Singh was running investment in education and Keith Rowley come and cut all you didn't say nothing? Archie, didn't I just talk about this just on Saturday? And look, the Express come to try to prop up something that is abject stupidity. Run it. Trade Ministry says food price hikes coming soon. So Paula Gopiskun, the Minister of Trade and Industry, says, all your brace, food price hikes coming. So their job is not to provide solutions, to provide buffers, to provide safety nets, to anticipate shocks and prepare our country to keep our citizens comfortable or as comfortable as possible. So their job as minister is just to report. So food price hike coming. All your food price hike coming. That is my job. Give me my pay. Draws my pay. My job is not to produce any solutions. Remember when Ethelbert Hines went to the parliament about 10 days ago? And he said, this is the crime, and this happening, and that happening, and gangs here, and that there, and fraud so, and this so. He just make a full report of all the crimes that are going on. So his job was not to solve those crimes. It's just to come and report to you. So the PNM ministers is now reporters. Them is just report problem. Them don't find no solution. They ain't get no creative solution, no cabinet note, nothing. Them is just reporters. But that's the next one. That came right after. So we mess up the video there, but it's all right. I also went to tell you all that 32 million nonsense when the PNM cut education and investment by 2.4 billion over 6.5 years, and then come to tell you, look, the little chicken skin, right? Look, after you had that one? All right, we forget that one, but it's all right. All you go remember it. Let me go. And then now, the ministers of the PNM just come to tell you what is the problem. The problems are exacerbated under them, and they come to report to you, hey boy, they have a problem. So them work is not to get no solution and bring solution. When we drop that Saturday on them, all of a sudden now, page 8 Guardian, Tuesday, April 5th. So Saturday, I bust that video day. Minister of Agriculture, ministers seek solutions as egg prices rise. So the prices on them don't rise. Them now going and seek solution because douglAR politics say, but always dotish, always to find solution, not just tell we that the egg price going up. Minister of Agriculture, Lands and Fisheries, Kazim Hussain says, he and Minister of Trade and Industry, Paula Gopiskun, are working with farmers to find a solution. Really? Wait, only hold your breath. Only don't hold your breath for that, you know, because all of we go dead solutions. So, Archie, my brother, I'm reading here. While we are suffering, and Rodney Charles, you may be very interested in this article that I'm going to read from in the Guyana Chronicle. It's dated April 6 today, 2022. Here's the article. Prices of fruits and vegetables continue to decline in Guyana. So everything going up here. But in Guyana, where Rowley tell Rodney Charles and everybody else to go, because he in charge of the country, stop telling him about Mia Motley and President Earth and Ali, and stop talking about that. Because he Rowley in charge here. And he seek the interests of Trinidad and Tobago as we have fallen apart. So all you respect his stupidity. And don't praise nobody who brighter than he, which is praise everybody else, as I tell all you before. So in Guyana, fruit and vegetable prices decline. Well, let me find out how now. Due to increased agricultural production, driven by the government's seedling and seed distribution program, which was implemented in response to the floods of 2021, where 742 farmers, 438 of whom were female, received support. So it ain't no long-term thing yet, you know. Flood last year, rainy season, June, July, August, crops mash up. Government jump into action. Say, listen, we have to solve this. Get some seedlings. Get all the farmers together. Here, plant. Look, support, boom, 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 boom. And now this year, 1 year later, magic. Prices going down in Guyana. But everything going up in Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the Rowley. Those are the facts. Trinidad and Tobago under Kamla Prasad Visesa was moving along the diversification continuum. Had we reached the end and said that we have diversified? No. But we're moving towards sport, tourism, culture, agriculture, increased acreage of agriculture, agro-processing. We were moving into the intelligence sector, the app development. We are moving into manufacturing, increasing the non-energy sector. On top of that, trying to go downstream with the energy sector, also developing the yachting association, the yachting industry, boat building, boat repair, and so on across the board. But look, Rowley crashed everything, including yachting, our little blossoming yachting manufacturing, maintenance work down it. Run it, Archie, run it.
Morning. I'm calling you from Shagaramas in one of the boatyards down here. Concerning the promises made by the minister concerning support for these businesses down here that have been suffering for more than 2 years. The funny thing is they gave them some documents to fill out, and when they did take them in for screening, they were informed that they had to produce X amount of documentations concerning what you have been purchasing or selling in the past 2 years. it's impossible because the last 2 years the place has been closed down. There's no work here. They are now trying to struggle to come back, but damage has been done. The people, most of the yachties who used to come here over the years are now in Grenada, where they have 2 new dockyards up there, and in the other islands they have been making masks on us. We are so backward here in this country concerning the yachting industry, which has been having jobs up to 3,500 people. Now it's down to about 300. And the minister is telling them all they could qualify for is $10,000 after they have suffered. Many of them closed down and gone. Where they gone to? Grenada. Hope you see the truth in this thing now, and it's all a gimmick. Thank you.
So not only if you want to look for intelligence, you could go to Guyana and see across the board, or you could look at Mia Amor Motley in Barbados, but you could go and look at Keith Mitchell in Grenada too. And anytime you want to see the best example of dunce, just look at Trinidad and Tobago, at Balize House, at PNM, at the PNM cabinet, and you could write an essay that will win you the Nobel Prize for Literature on dunce running a country. As I say that, Rodney Charles, listen up carefully, my brother. Jamaica set to get US 30 million investment after meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris. 30 million US investment in Jamaica. Jamaica is set to benefit from investments of US 30 million from the United States following a meeting between Prime Minister Andrew Holness and US Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House in Washington, D.C. The investment includes US 20 million to boost commerce between the two nations and a further US 10 million to address human capital development and violence reduction for at-risk youth. Rowley, where you're meeting with Kamala? You went? Where you're meeting with Biden? Rowley, where your investment from that meeting? Rowley, where the US investment? Rowley, why are we at negative 439 US foreign direct investment? Rowley, you said you are the best salesman in the world, but everybody else getting things, but we ain't getting nothing but pain and separation, food price inflation, and pressure from you big dunce. TTMA head. Many benefits to be gained from Trinidad and Tobago Guyana trade. Really? But Rowley, you blank Guyana 6 months. They invited you 6 months early for the energy conference. You told them no, you ain't going, and you went to meet with the president of Iran, and you went Qatar to carried to show them that Trinidad and Tobago like we carried. Your highness, like you like Fitzgerald Hines was there with you, Your Highness. Despite the negativity that sometimes surrounds relations with Trinidad and Tobago, the benefits to be reaped with the two ways, says their Chief Executive Officer of Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association, Dr. Ramesh Ramdeen. Ramdeen said the TTMA met with Guyana Vice President Bara Jagdeo on the issue and assured that the local content policy at this time did not cover the trade of non-energy items. So the chamber and the TTMA head gone to meet with the politicians and the government of Guyana, the Vice President Bara Jagdeo, but Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, refusing to attend anything in Guyana, refusing to meet with Guyana, refusing to lead the charge for all of the opportunities that are opening up in Guyana so that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago could benefit, because Rowley is a vindictive, malicious, heartless, wicked, lacking empathy human being who only cares about himself. And when he send his people over there and the wrong side win, he say fire burn that, and fire burn all of you citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. That is your leader. Elections have consequences. So the TTMA have to go and try on their own. Don't you think It would have been more powerful if the TTMA was part of a contingent led by the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago with the Trade and Industry Minister and all of those people along a high-powered meeting to set up bilateral arrangements, agreements and investment and set up Trinidad and Tobago to benefit from our neighbors' largesse. Wouldn't that have made more sense? Now you understand why when Rodney Charles asked Keith Christopher Rowley a simple question, a question that anyone who had a plan and a policy could stand there quietly and answer with statistics, information, rational and reasonable thought processes. Rowley had to get on like a wajang and shout down at Rodney Charles and accuse him, and the speaker had to stand up, and Rowley lost total control because a dunce cannot answer a simple question. And if you cannot answer, you have to bluster, you have to distract, and you have to shout and be arrogant. You can't shout sense, you can't shout facts, you can't shout information. So you shout down, carry on, and degrade the parliament into the lowest common denominator. That is Keith Rowley. Positive experiences working there, says RAMP CEO. RAMP's Logistics Chief Operating Officer Sean Rampersad has spoken highly of his experience working in Guyana. A family business started in TNT in 1985, RAMP's Logistics has been in Guyana for the past 9 years and employs about 500 people. They work in investing, creating jobs and creating movement in Guyana. Derek Chin, Guyana now a bread basket. Not for Rowley, not for the PNM, and therefore not for Trinidad and Tobago. You have to go on your own to try and eat bread from the bread basket because you elected a myopic, vindictive, wicked, selfish person called Keith Christopher Rowley. Among those encouraging Trinidad and Tobago businesses to seize opportunities in Guyana is Movie Town owner Derek Chin, who was born in Guyana and raised in Trinidad. Our TNT economy is still kind of in a negative growth situation for the last 6 to 7 years. The country is at this time going through some hardship and challenges. The private sector has been looking for greener pastures or opportunities, and there is an opportunity 1 hour away from us where Guyana is expected with the great oil find to really be an economic giant in a very short time, said Derek Chin, businessman from Movie Town. Yet Rowley, he says a bread basket, but Rowley flooding the flour with water. Let's continue. Guyana to get a US $10 million concrete batching plant. Why would I read this? You want to know why I'm going to read this? Because this is a Trinidad and Tobago businessman who is taking 10 million US out of Trinidad and Tobago to invest it in Guyana to put a concrete batching plant. You know who this businessman is? When Kamla Prasad Bisesa was Prime Minister, and Keith Christopher Rowley was all over this country lying to each and every one of you, pretending that he was such a corruption buster and he was the man who was going to be the Prime Minister because he was going to bring good governance, transparency, accountability and so on. And y'all believe that fool. You know who he used to walk with anywhere he went? It used to be Keith Christopher Rowley, Rohan Sinanan, Andrew Gabriel, and Sunarayan Kusal. Those were the four. They were the four musketeers between 2010 and 2015. And now the fourth musketeer is taking his money out of Trinidad and Tobago and investing it in Guyana. Do you all understand what I am saying? He who put Rowley there, he taking the money and going by Guyana where Rowley don't want to go and want to shout at Rodney Charles. Why don't shout at Kusal Rowley? Exxon Mobil now. This Guyana now. And your Prime Minister says Trinidad and Tobago, we don't need Guyana. We don't need to negotiate. We don't need to go to events. We don't need to set no agreement. We don't need to get our people jobs. We don't need to set a pathway for our companies to go over there and help Guyana build and help ourselves come out of the darkness. We don't need that, says Rowley. ExxonMobil makes final investment decision in Guyana. The company said its fourth and largest project in the Starbrook block in Guyana is expected to produce approximately 250,000 barrels of oil per day starting in 2025. Yellowtail's development further demonstrates the successful partnership between ExxonMobil and Guyana. Their fourth project of one company, ExxonMobil, that one project is going to bring 250,000 barrels per day beginning in 2025. You know how much barrels per day we producing now under Rowley in the PNM and Small Pin? Small Pin, we're producing 37,000 barrels per day. This 1/4 of one company is going to produce 250,000 barrels per day in Guyana. And Rowley is shouting at Rodney Charles because he cannot answer Rodney Charles' questions. But then, it's amazing, we see the PNM come out. I have told you I listened to Barra Jagdeo and everything he said is true. And we have, the only thing I disagree with Barra Jagdeo over is we're not falling apart. Trinidad and Tobago, my beloved country, we have fallen apart. And 92% of you out there, that the Express couldn't even find people, and you know they like to find people to promote PNM, they couldn't even find more than 8% of the people to say, nah, we ain't falling apart. But then I read this most, I thought this was a comic relief. I read this column in The Guardian on Sunday, April 3rd, 2020, by Helen Drayton, former independent PNM senator, who out of 23 contributions that I read of hers while Kamala was Prime Minister, all 23 was scathing towards Kamala Persad-Bissessar. When she lost the election due to gerrymandering of boundaries by the EBC and lies of email gate of Rowley, Helen Drayton jumped out of the independent senator to be the PNM chairperson of CNMG, and then she moved from there to be the PNM chairperson of the lucrative NIB with all the asset base of $31 billion. But she writes a column, this PNM lady Helen Drayton, and she says, we are not, let me read it for you. The truth is, says Helen Drayton, the country is not falling apart. A CARICOM neighbor saying so reminds me of a never-see-come-see people who suddenly get rich and forget where they came from and mount up those who help them. That's life. Listen to the arrogance, the insane attack of this PNM former independent senator attacking Guyana. Richie Sukai, what say you? Kumbaya? Is this Kumbaya? A former independent senator, a PNM chairperson of CNMG, and a PNM chairperson of NIB attacking Guyana like that in the most vile, disgusting manner. So I'm ready to read now because I want to hear what this learned lady who was in the banking sector, how she's going to say that Barra Jagdeo, how he said we had 7 years of no growth, negative growth. We have major job losses, no diversification, foreign exchange crunch. All of those things I have researched, and those are truisms. I want to see how this PNM lady was going to debunk Barra Jagdeo, especially when she started off attacking Guyana like that. She said, and let me repeat it for you now, Helen Drayton, the truth is, the country is not falling apart. A CARICOM neighbor saying so reminds me of a never-see-come-see people who suddenly get rich and forget where they came from and mount up those who help them. That's life, right? So now I go on to read the whole article to see, well, if this lady could come out with such a scathing attack on Barra Jagdeo and Guyana, that she must be coming with some other information that I can't find to show jobs, to show growth, to show the economy, to show the non-energy sector booming, the energy sector booming, to show that Wassa people are getting water, the crime situation is under control, people feel safe, the health system is... I'm waiting to read. You know what this lady started to talk about? We ain't fall apart, but we just look like we fall apart because it have plenty billboard and thing all over the country. I kid you not. That's her point. This woman take time to type up this to print in the Guardian that we look like we falling apart. We not falling apart. But the reason, her priority, that we not falling apart, but we looking so, is that it have plenty billboard all over the place. That's Helen Drayton. That's what the PN... Listen, let me tell Helen Drayton something. When you want to make an argument, this is how you do it. Ralph Maraj. You don't have to come in, I'm going to read it. Ralph Maraj says, things fall apart. So let's see. He said, it is at the heart of the worsening economic and social conditions that have placed us on the brink of falling apart. After the 2020 general election, that returned the incumbent administration, I lamented the reappointment of a sad, stale cabinet with unimpressive, underperforming ministers back in most key positions. Are they driven by purpose or merely enjoying the prestige, power, and perks of office? Shallowness could never ensure the country holds together. Our failing economy will make things fall apart. In December 2015, 2 months after they came to office, I continued my call for re-engineering the economy towards diversified foreign earnings. After 7 years, my questions stand. Neither the Prime Minister nor the Cabinet analyzed the portents. We therefore still have no other revenue streams existing or gestating to compensate for reduced earnings. Consequently, we continue today with our shortages of critical foreign exchange, the lifeblood of our economy and society, without which things would indeed completely fall apart. For 5 years, the Rowley cabinet lived in vacuous hope for a return to boom times, while precious reserves declined. They consumed over $6 billion and created nothing. Gross official reserves declined from $15 billion in 2015 to $6.879.6 million. So a decline of some $9 billion at the end of 2021. And foreign borrowing constitutes a significant percentage of this vastly reduced amount. We are now borrowing to service accumulated debt. The IMF recently warned of a debt crisis. In September 2021, the net national debt stood at $126.6 billion, or 93% of GDP, way above the 70% described as acceptable. Will we eventually default on debt servicing? And where prey is the stimulation of business activity to increase government revenue through corporate and individual taxes? How will education, health, and national security be maintained? They have wasted 7 precious years. Our condition is aggravated by rampant social decay. Trinidad and Tobago is now an utterly violent place with frightening rates of murder, domestic violence, and horrific child abuse among the more obvious manifestations. But with their economy and society threatened, the people seem more concerned with fete and frolic than saving their nation. No soul, no civilization. Things will fall apart. That's how you make an argument. Statistics, information, comparative stats, policies, discussion. This lady comes to say it's not falling apart. PNM, she said PNM, but it have plenty billboard though. So it making me look like we falling apart. Nothing about crime, nothing about reserves, nothing about diversification, nothing about forex, nothing about growth, nothing about economy, nothing about the energy sector, nothing about manufacturing, nothing about job creation, nothing about anything, nothing about education, nothing about opportunities. Billboard. But Ralph Maraj, who says, Barra Jagdeo is correct. All you vex the man for? The man ain't lie. Breaking the cycle of poverty. Where is this boy? In Trinidad and Tobago. Breaking the cycle of poverty. This lady is brilliant. This Nina Young, she has a women's leadership program. There are girls and young women in this country who are willing to break the cycle of poverty, abuse, and underachievement of former generations and succeed in life. All they need is a chance to make the right choices. So where this lady come up with the idea to help, if it didn't exist, if, as all you say, the Miss Trinidad and Tobago was wrong, and girls and children are not living in poverty, how did this brilliant lady come up for 9 years to help people if they didn't need help? She said to foster the entrepreneurial mindset among disadvantaged and at-risk students when it was started 9 years ago. They had no support in place, with many having nowhere to live. They are often plagued by domestic violence, drugs, prostitution, unplanned pregnancies, and other issues. I thought we are just a paradise, and all you want to cuss up the girl, the little Miss Trinidad and Tobago? Really? Where all you live in, keep burying your head in the inflatable pool. And watch this. Ain't we not falling apart? Show them some road in Labrador and Archie. We ain't falling apart. Look at this.
Look at the nice road Lab they still have now, in this day and age. Pothole, left, right, center.
I have been to Haiti twice, and I don't ever want to go back. And nowhere in Haiti are the roads that bad. But now we ain't falling apart. WASA reviewing roadworks restoration policy. So all the information that come out in WASA, 2 joint select committees, and WASA caught lying from Rowley to Shepherd to the Minister Man to Rabbi Nanga, trying to obfuscate and blame everybody else except themselves for the woeful production of water and lack thereof in Trinidad and Tobago. All the Guardian and all the newspapers could talk about is that they're reviewing road construction or they're checking out. But look at Majuba Crossroad, now recently paved, you know. And this is the next day after it paved. What is that coming out there? My goodness, that is not dew, you know. That is WASA water coming up, seeping through, freshly paved, 2 inches of asphalt with gravel and so on, compressed by a steamroller, you know. The water come through the next day. That is PNM efficiency. And then WASA, Nanga, you didn't, 16%, 24/7 water supply, because of the restrictions and the blackout in February. So the lady, she tell the truth, it really was 16%, but it's not so bad now because it had blackout. But what about the water restrictions? This was 2 days ago. Run it.
April 4th, 2022. Monday, April 4th. WASA say water restrictions in full effect. But the law here in Muka, because of course here in Muka could get a nice wetting. Because them can afford to use of the water. While some don't have water to wash the clothes, flush the toilet, or even drink. But the Mukak, of course, could get a nice wetting.
Because Rowley had to come there, to play golf. That's what you all vote for. You all want to defend that too? I want all the PNM people who have no water and who have to walk down to the pipe and fill water, and they have no water to wash their clothes and to cook, and children have to be up and down instead of studying to lift bucket of water. I want all you to tell me, yes man, that's great. Leave the grass green, let them wet it for Rowley to swing a club. A man who is the worst golfer in the history, he swing and get no better the amount he swing. When you're that bad, when you practice something so much and you suck so bad, give it up. You could love the game, but the game don't like you, Rowley. Facts. But I now know why Nanga was trying to obfuscate, trying to talk himself into trouble and out of trouble, and trying his best to make sense from nonsense. Ravi Nanga, oh good Nanga, is that you? Lawyers raking 37 million from RHAs and you get about 5? Ravi Nanga, all that, and the douglAR mash up Mr. Big Attorney and make it look very stupid. All you go and watch the Joint Select Committee with this one. PNM Ravi Nanga, the worst chairman in the history of Wassa. Nobody have water. Truck don't even diesel to deliver water. The pressure busting pipe. The minute he have confidence in the minister, man. Well, me I know where he get all that confidence. Because not him, Rowley have confidence. But all of a sudden, PNM, lucrative for the chairman of Wassa. I have people, you know. Me vex you, but don't come and lie about Wassa and the Salcott and the UNC about what's going on at Wassa. Y'all are the worst in history. And tell Mr. Shepherd he must come with the truth or else he'll get embarrassed. Oh gosh, Mr. Shepherd. Imagine that will never go away. Your grandchildren and all go see that. The report. I see that Dr. Bratt has written a column in the Guardian Tuesday, April 5th, and he says, the report, meaning the COVID-19 report, and he said one of the 2 articles appeared in the press repeating some of the findings. There was little or no discussion on radio or TV, nor in the papers from our learned columnists. Haven't I been telling you all that? A critical report into COVID-19. Over 3,745 people dead. And very little talk, very little discussion. It just come and just shh, because that's the mass media. Rowley is the worst, he's the most incompetent, but don't let the people find out that. Keep that quiet, because our companies are making profits and boasting increase of profits in 89% and so on. He said nothing. Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association said nothing, says Dr. Bratt. As far as I'm concerned, there are 2 points to make which are enough to condemn the report. One, the committee would like to note here from the report that the time was far too brief to allow a thorough assessment. Exactly. So if the time was too brief, then come out. Not so? Did anyone say at this point? We cannot in good faith continue, says Dr. Bratt. A rapid assessment. Are we serious, says Dr. Bratt? Or have our entire class of politicians, officials, media, commentators, cultural leaders, academics, intellectuals, professional organizations, religious leaders, the man in the street become so accustomed to lies, corruption, low standards, fuzzy thinking, acceptance of mediocrity and so on, that we just cannot be bothered to accept any excuse? The government trying the best we can do, other countries doing the same, and you all just accept that, says Dr. Bratt. The committee initially decided to request a sample of 90 randomly chosen patient notes. 90 out of 3,500 at that time. The committee accepted a convenient sample of 25. But Dr. Bratt, I take issue with one thing you said. You said that the UNC, only 1 or 2 rogue doctors of the UNC and so on dealt with the report, dealt with the situation. Sir, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, from the time Rowley announced that committee, dealt with it and showed that the time was ridiculous. They had no power to subpoena witnesses, to subpoena documents, that it was nonsense. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Lakram Bodil, Dr. Rai, Rishi Sicharan, and Tim Gopi Singh have been calling for a commission of inquiry ad nauseum. They talked about the committee report at least on 12 different occasions. I spoke about it. I did about 5 different coffee and doubles on it. douglAR Politics, we spoke about it. Jerlene John spoke about it. Wade Mark spoke about it. We asked questions about it. Jayanti Lakshmi Diyar, the UNC was dealing with it, analyzing it, bringing it, shredding it. Rishi Sicharan did Monday night virtual. Tim Gopi Singh press conference on Monday night. Dr. Bratt, please, let me just remind you, run Kamala.
So we saw Mr. Rowley again in his press conference talking about an investigation. He has set up a committee, a few members of the committee, and the biggest joke, he has given them 7 days. 7 days. Okay? This committee is to investigate about 6 things in the terms of reference and so on about the COVID challenge. Now, we call it the COVID charade. I have been calling since last year, before the deaths had reached this over 3,000 mark. I have been calling, we have been calling for a commission of inquiry into the management of the COVID crisis. And guess what went on? Rowley comes up, we get this bright idea. He says, okay, we'll set up a committee, a hand-picked committee again. To do what? What can you possibly do in those 7 days? This 7-day wonder committee. What can you do in 7 days? You have no powers, you have no jurisdiction, you have no legal authority to summon witnesses. None. You have no jurisdiction, no power, no legal authority to demand documents to see them. So what will you do? When you're marching to wherever, whichever hospital or healthcare system, what are you going to do? Doctors busy running up and down, nurses trying to save lives. What are you going to do when they refuse to give you the information that you're seeking? You have no power. Get that clear in your mind, you know. These persons on this committee, they have no power whatsoever to do anything. That is why we called for the Commission of Inquiry since last year, because a Commission of Inquiry in law has the power, has the jurisdiction, has the legal authority to summon witnesses who have to come, and they must come. They must take an oath and give evidence on oath. What are you afraid of, Mr. Rowley?
So with all due respect, Dr. Bratt, that was before this. You are now saying this after the fact, after the committee came and Rowley extended to 1 month, and then the report came in, and 2 months you have digested it. Kamla Prasad-Bissessar made that speech 2 days after Rowley announced the committee and that they had 1 week. And that's just an example. I told you all the other MPs who dealt with it since then and continuing. I am not a doctor, but I and all dealt with it. Dr. Bratt, please, run it, Archie. Now you all want a report from a committee set up by Rowley, handpicked by Rowley, and given 7 days to do what? To investigate what? No power to pull records, no time to go and investigate and take statements from the countless thousands of patients and family members who have received the worst care in the history of the planet, who have gone through pain because of Rowley's policy. 7 days, no summons, can't get documents, doctors don't have to talk to them. A report on what? What can they do in seven days? Why did he not call? You want to find the answers? Call a commission of inquiry, and Rowley, you and Convent Girl and Small Pin and Al-Rawi will have to sit down there under oath, swear on the Bible, and be cross-examined by senior counsel and attorneys with great information on the deaths of people. A report by a handpicked committee, and all they take that in Trinidad and Tobago to do what? What can they do in 7 days? They've had mistake after mistake. This goes back 24 months. How many people dying? You think you could investigate the deaths of 3,160 people in 7 days? How many people is that per day? What utter total madness. What about the medicine, the oxygen, the decision, the nurses, the doctors, the specialists? How are they going to take statements from them? To take a detailed statement like that over a 24-month period of one doctor, one official, one nurse, one orderly may take at least 4 or 5 hours. How are they going to get the information? What report is going to be done? Rowley's playing you all for fools with your lies, and once again, this is his strategy. Waste your time, say he do a report, and let him continue, and your money keeps disappearing. So with all due respect, Dr. Brad, I think that was not fair. Because these are just 2 examples, and as I said, he had Tim Gopi Singh for 5 hours. Radio, he was on radio, U97.5 for 1 hour and 20 minutes, talking about that, talking about the report, talking about the time, talking about that these people should not. And that's before the fact. And then after the report came out, the 105-page report, Dr. Rishi Sicharan, Dr. Lakram Bodo, Dr. Rai Ragdev, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, questions inside the Senate, outside the Senate, statements made, and so on. I don't think that this is fair. that you wrote here, Sir Dr. Bratt. You said there was sporadic commentary by the opposition in and out of Parliament. 1 or 2 renegade UNC doctors made a brief, angry comments. Really? That's not fair. Okay? They may have been angry, but they weren't brief and they weren't sporadic. They were intense, they were continuous. And if you chose not to listen, sir, I don't think that's fair in your column. And you are a fair person. Okay? So I just had to correct that record. I hope you understand. And you could go back and check. Don't take my word for it. Go back on the UNC Facebook, go and check the Monday night fora. Go and check all of them around the time of the report, during the time of the report, when the report was extended, everything Kamala said, every time Tim Gopi Singh spoke, on all the douglAR politics that we had, all the douglAR radio that we had, Victor Roberts, Marsha Riley, come down, you go and check it, sir, okay? SAT, rapid rise in food prices, unfortunate. Rajiv Dipti says, the rapid rise in food prices is unfortunate. President of the Supermarket Association, right? He says, Dipti said the prices increase across the board. Accessing foreign exchange is still a problem. The prices are higher because of the distributor. The distributors must have had more of an already scarce foreign exchange, and they are paying more to the parallel market, black market, parallel market under the PNM. He said structural changes must be made to decrease the price of food, and this includes more food production in Trinidad and Tobago and regionally. Now more than ever, we need to grow our own food. We're seeing it in Guyana and Jamaica to an extent. They're doing it. So, Dipti, you want to go Guyana too? Rowley say go, because if them doing something good and we doing it wrong, and you say that them doing good and you want us to do it too, that you want to go there, Dipti, so they go send you too with Rodney Charles, right? But when you're coming out, you must talk a little stronger. You're not in politics, but talk facts are facts. Food production is down. Acreage under cultivation is down. Support for farmers is down. Investment in farming is down. Predial larceny unit is non-existent. Access roads are down. The investment in agriculture is down. Supply and support for fertilization and for chemicals is down. The PNM has not, because the Prime Minister said agriculture makes no sense because we don't have the land space. Talk the truth, because the truth will set us free from this bag of incompetence. But yet, while we suffering and we have no food, we should be growing more. Guyana grow more, their prices going down. We suffering, we importing more. We at the mercy of international shocks. Look what the PNM does, Archie, to food. Run it.
Yes, holiday give me a chance to pick out my coconut. To tell me anything, you understand? My coconut bearing trees, right? This is what they're doing here, right? General Earth Removers Limited, right? Well, I can see this is our garden here, right? Right, here's where they're pushing on here. The tractor reducing here, there's my house in the back there, right? Young Papa Hill, government ministers in come and see anything, LSA in come and make mention to me, they would walk down, they come by my house. When I was asking them what going on, they say they will get back onto me. They never get back onto me. Right? And the other could see. Right?
We suffering no food. We at the mercy of global food prices. And at this time, that's what the PNM doing. Bulldozing crops. Great is the PNM. Elections have consequences. And while that going on, Sunday Express, business section, page 12. Rising basic food items increase over 15% from a year ago. Rising prices force consumers to adapt. A year ago, a consumer paid $241 for 16 basic food items 1 year ago. Fast forward to this year, The same items are now costing $279, which is a $38 increase or 15.7% rise for a basic basket of goods. They ain't include the taxi fare, the gas fare, the diesel fare, and so on and so forth. And that's what's happening. But in Guyana, they're taking care. Even though food prices on the way down, that's not good enough for us. Intelligent government, they want to stay on top of it. So what are they doing? Creating access roads to their farmland. Look at them access roads that them building to farmland. Not for people, you know. Not to go from Marabella to Gasparillo into Point-a-Pierre, you know. That is for Francomen food. That's what the Guyanese government is doing. Their agricultural access roads are better than our highway under the PNM. Elections have consequences. In 2015, when Kamla Prasad Bissessa was Prime Minister, whatever index you want to use, things were better. Your lives were better. Your children had hope for education moving forward, sport and culture. Crime was being fought. It wasn't perfect, but it was on the way down in the right direction. People were motivated, plans were being put. The ministers of national security were not falling asleep while making a speech. But look at what they do, y'all. Actually show them. Look at that. Rowley say, hey, girl, that man treating you real bad in that yellow jersey you have on there. Come by me now, girl. I go treat you better. And in 2022, check my girl in she red dress. That is Trinidad and Tobago. That is what Rowley has told you all. That is the unmasking of a pathological, heartless liar. Kamla, Foster boy, you have questions to answer, Foster. You're talking big, it ain't no secret, but you answer no question, Foster. Foster, answer Kamla boy. Run it.
Last week I talked about Foster Cummins. What is happening with state lands in this country? Last Monday, I raised with you matters involving land grabbing. I had asked several questions in relation to Minister Foster Cummins and a piece of land in exchange, Couva. Foster Cummins, a director and shareholder of a company known as Pical Services Limited. Tonight, I wish to remind you of the questions I asked last Monday. Are there any vehicles belonging to Pical Services Limited parked up on this piece of state land? Is Pical Services Limited the owner or tenant of that piece of state land? Who currently occupies and manages the building owned by Caroni 1975 Limit, which is on that piece of state land? Does Pical Services Limited have any interest in the land and the building? Again, Foster, do you know anything about this? Now I received what this photograph shows is a black Range Rover PDS 12. PDS 12. Black Range Rover. PDS 12. Foster, is that your Range Rover? Is that the one you use and come to Parliament every time we have Parliament? Tell us, is that your vehicle? And why is it parked up behind that wall on that compound? Tell us why. Do you own the land? Are you a tenant of that land? These are state lands. What were you doing parked up on that compound? What's the vehicle doing there? What is it doing on that compound? Tonight I call again for answers on what business does Pical Services and Foster Cummins have with that piece of land belonging to Caroni at Exchange in Kufa.
So Foster, while you're answering Kamla questions, here's some more for you to answer since you're big and bad, eh? And don't send Shada, what she named Satram, to answer, you know. When did your family receive state lands? When was this commercial opportunity or availability of Caroni lands advertised to the entire nation for all and sundry to try to benefit from state resources? How did you become aware of the availability of state lands for business opportunities if it was not advertised? What government policy allowed you to benefit from state lands for a contracting business. What was the policy? What cabinet note legalized this policy about access to land, cheap land for construction companies? How many other businesses tendered or competed for this lucrative parcel of state lands and others at that time of the implementation of this cabinet policy? Is there a cabinet policy? Answer, show me the cabinet note. Which cabinet note approved and confirmed the awarding of state lands to you, to your company, PICAL Services, Foster? What are the conditions of your occupation of state lands? What's the lease? How long is it? How much for? Are you paying it? Is it peppercorn or is it real estate, real rental? Did you declare this interest in state lands on your integrity forms? Are you still a director of PICAL Services Limited? If not, why are you still parked up there during the daytime when you're supposed to be doing the government work and the government paid by taxpayers' dollars for a full-time job as a member of parliament and a minister of government? What are you doing there? Is that part of your work? What you're opening? A youth apprenticeship program in PICAL? Is PICAL Services Limited, have they been in receipt of government contracts since you became a minister and you swore on the Bible? Have they received contracts? Did you have to recuse yourself from cabinet at any point in time because of the award of contracts to PICAL Services? Was Clarence ever involved in the award of state lands to you and your family, whether as a minister or in any other position involving Caroni lands? Was Clarence ever involved? And just finally, just for the country now, recite the words of the national anthem there again for me. And Foster, you really went on talking Diego Martin like this? Archie, put it up and leave my mic up there, let me see. Foster, you had to help your boy understand this one, boy. Foster, boy. You really put Rowley on your chest, boy? After that man 9 weeks ago call you 2 to 3 a.m. and blow you out because you was handling bundles? You take the man bundles, handle the bundles. Rowley tell you stop handling the bundles, take back the bundles, and you gone and put the honor man name on your chest to talking Diego Martin. What kind of man he is, boy? What kind of thing is that, Foster? Don't do your boy. You're looking sad there, Foster. Them look, oh gosh. Rowley, you have on a Rowley vest underneath there. He tell you where your Rowley draws to, Foster. But anyway, that is an aside, you know, Foster. Answer Kamla's question about PICAL Services, and I add on some for you too now. Tell me now. So because I'm sure the whole country wants to know what was the policy that everybody, all citizens could have benefited to get state land to operate their business, their construction companies, their contracting services and so on. So tell us the policy, the cabinet note, the tender, the invitation. Show us in the newspaper, you know. Look at there now. And as you say, Express. Are you all really serious? Now you can't, the lighting, you can't really see it. So let me read it. This is the front page of the Express today, Wednesday, April 6th. And it talks about Foster Cummins saying it's no secret. We ask you that, you know. Minister Cummins confirms family business, right? And the Express, you put the quote from Foster Cummins, which is totally absurd and wrong. You put it on the front page of the newspaper without alerting all of our children that what you were doing is printing the nonsense uttered by the Minister of Youth and whatever other portfolio, Foster Cummins, who said every creed and race can find an equal place. These are not the words, that is not the lyrics of the national anthem. And you, Express, have printed that there without explanation, without stating categorically that this is not correct for all of our children. You really find that responsible? And Foster, you're taking lessons from Convan Galloway. What is going on with your PNM ministers? Read a book now. Prime lands at Invaders Bay being cleared for leasing, says UDCOT, for leasing. And they talk about in July 27, 2018, based on responses, Cabinet agreed to lease of lands on phase basis to respond from UDCOT's communication. A request for proposals was issued via print media on February 3rd, 2021 for the laying of infrastructure at Invaders Bay. 9 companies responded, and after evaluations, Namalco won. Rowley small pin, I thought Namalco, EMBD, 40 million to try and find corruption, UNC, Namalco, Rudal Munila, what happened to Namalco win to go down there? And all you just start to clear out thing. And listen to me, my people. Rowley's friend who in control of Udicott is now in control of the most lucrative land. Your assets at value for Rowley and them to just hand out. You all really play. Elections have consequences. And all you I can tell you, this is just pure madness. And if you all trust pathological liars to control all your resources, what you want me to say? As we talk about pathological, to the Guardian newspaper, to try to print an article like this when a man killed his wife, bullied, bludgeoned, chopped, murdered, a total miscreant, and the Guardian is printing that he was some good teacher and he loved children and he helped children in SCA. Guardian, stop making yourself a mockery. The man is a miscreant, a ridiculous abuser who killed a woman. There is nothing positive. Once you conduct yourself in that manner, nothing you did before matters. You come to tell me about he grow provision and all kind of thing. He killed his wife because she was upset that he horned she and make a child with an ex-woman, and you come to tell me, but the children like him in SCA. Guardian, are you all serious? You all are really sick. Terribly sick. All you feel is you can make heady, Guardian. Ahmad Deobaran has been helping children who were struggling with online classes, ensuring they excel in the secondary entrance. He supplied SCA booklets offered free classes to poor children, and even sold ground provisions cheap to help. Guardian, the man killed his wife. A murderer, a bully, a domestic abuser, and they had tape of him from before. And it to his mother. My lady, you endorsed, encouraged, and supported the behavior of your son that led to the death of your daughter-in-law and your son, because you were attacking the woman when your son was wrong. What kind of mother does that? My mother loved me to death. I used to spoil child. But when I was doing stupidness with my first wife and I running down sweet woman and thing, my mother tell me, you do what you want, all this sweetness outside. Because my daughter-in-law with my 2 grandchildren, them welcome in this property here anytime, anywhere, anyhow. And if you have anything else, keep them outside. That's what my mother tell me. She not tolerating no stupidness, no matter how much she love and spoil me. You, ma'am, you going and telling your son who horned the woman, make a child with an ex-woman, and the woman upset. You calling and that woman names? And to the lawyers who sat down the day before for 2.5 hours, y'all better stay anonymous. And y'all said and stated on the record that he was so upset that y'all had to calm him down and so on. And after 2.5 hours, you kind of got him to calm down. All you didn't find as intelligent legal professionals that y'all should have been able to have a bit more perception and put some people on notice to instruct him to go somewhere else and to monitor him, your client, to ensure that nothing untoward happened, or to even monitor and tell the police to be careful because we feel or we have a feeling. You all didn't think that. And if intelligent lawyers and attorneys cannot discern that, what's left for the police? How the police, if the lawyers can't discern that after such a long, how the police will be able to discern that in a 5-minute report or a 10-minute report? And then for DCP Jacob to tell people, to tell women, get some help from counseling. It's your job, DCP Duns, to protect the women. What is your policy? You should have come out and tell us, this is what we are doing to all women who are going through this. We are going to take action. We have a specific unit that when you report, we will monitor, we will do this. Tell us something. You come to tell us, to tell women who get abused, to go to a psychologist and get help. Look, I don't know what else to say. And Hines then comes now to say, criminals are becoming more selfish. Are you all filled with confidence that your safety will improve? Hines says, criminals have become more brazen and selfish. They see opportunities to get more than what they are entitled to without paying the dues for it. The people of this country who depend on you for your protection, he talking to the task force, and saying to them, the people of this country depend on you for their protection. Well, the people of this country unfortunately depend on you because you holding the post of Minister of National Security, and all you doing is sleeping on the job. And Archie, run it.
Coast Guard on our water. There is state resistance.
You see it?
And state pushback. And they know that.
And the people depend on your PNM government for creativity, intelligence, care, heart and soul policies that will impact their lives in a positive way. And the people are just left wanting because PNM and intelligence is an oxymoron. Now, this video, Archie, I think you will have to play this video and leave my audio up with this policeman and this couple. Now this is just, it's so insane. Just run it, Archie, and let me talk. This police officer, they come to arrest the man or come to look for this gentleman, right? So first and foremost, police officer, this cannot be correct. All right, you don't touch a woman like that, first and foremost, in the conduct of your duty, even if she is behaving in such a manner. There are different ways to take away the threat and to prevent her from stopping you from doing your duty. Grabbing the woman's bosom is not one of those methods. Number two, to the idiot who's holding a baby while police looking for you, and you throwing thing at police while holding a baby in your hand, they should drop another 20 charges on you. Whatever they was coming for you for, you should get about 20 more charges. And to the rest of the officers who just filming and watching, this is not how police work. This is not the conduct of police. You all are not making us feel confident that you all know what you can do and how to do it. My goodness, man. All you watch TV now, man. Rowley the hypocrite. Rowley, and to you, the deputy speaker, the house, you didn't have on a blue wig, whatever your name is. Let me tell you something. The people are unsafe. Keith Rowley stated that the way that we will be judged on crime is if the people feel safe. Fitzgerald Sleepy Hines on a different heights. He said, I not Ewok to make the people feel safe. And you trying to stop Rambali from talking the truth? Run it, Archie.
Now, I want to say that in 2015, and this is important, Mr. Deputy Speaker, in August 2015, and Mr. Deputy Speaker, with your permission, and I want to show again what is hypocrisy. And I want to show the meaning of who is a hypocrite. We had a statement, and these are very important words, I took it seriously. I still do. The yardstick we will use to measure our success in crime fighting is how you feel about your security.
And the government cannot play politics with crime, trying to convince us that all crime has gone down when you know you don't feel that way. The yardstick that we will use to measure our success in crime fighting is how you feel about your security.
I treat those words very, very, very important. They're very important. Those words were uttered 7 years ago, none other by our Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley.
Remember, just in your preamble before that, you were saying you will identify who is a hypocrite. So again, I need you to retract that statement. Hold on. I need you to retract that statement and move on.
I retract.
I need you to retract this statement based on what you said prior to the statement you made. just now.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, if I said who is a hypocrite, I withdraw that outright.
And I needed to withdraw the last statement also.
Which is...
I
will define who is a hypocrite. I withdraw that, Mr. Speaker.
I need no assistant.
I withdraw the statement, Mr. I thought I had said, and if I want to say I'm saying it now, I am defining what is a hypocrite.
The yardstick that we will use to measure our success in crime fighting is how you feel about your security.
Hey, Mr. Man, Mr. Tunapuna, who nobody know, hear this. Me now withdraw nothing. Rowley is a pathological liar and a hypocrite and a total failure. Oh, withdraw that. Rowley is a hypocrite and a liar. You fighting for a little walk? Now, Archie, this was a disturbing incident. But we're going to play it and leave my mic up. A jogger was jogging and he was approached by a very serious dog. Probably not for the first time. But run the video, Archie. Here we see a jogger exercising, and there he pauses. He pauses, he draws his weapon, and here comes a dog chasing him. He hits him with a good shot, but the dog is determined to take him down and to go back at him. And now the dog moves off, and he will die right there later on. He's still running, he's still trying and still thinking to go after the gentleman. Let me tell you something. The people who own that dog should be charged. It is you who failed to secure your dog that has led to the death of your dog. To the gentleman, I heard he's special forces, well done. You are brilliantly trained. You were calm, cool, collected, and you saved your life. And you did so with restraint. You hit one shot, and that dog was not stopping. That dog was intent on killing, on biting. It looks like that dog was given aggression training. And trainers would tell you once you teach a dog to bite, they know nothing else. That dog got a shot, shake it off, and came back at the man. Got 3 more and was still contemplating coming back at the gentleman. But his shooting skills is tremendous. I think he should teach all them police officers and so on, them who does stop man in car with a hand up and shoot at one in the back and 3 that's dead. That man should train all of them how to shoot. To the people who fail to secure that dog, you are responsible for the death of that dog. That dog's death is on your hands. Police should charge all you. And you cannot have such a dog getting loose. Suppose that was not a gentleman with a gun. Suppose that was somebody's child. Suppose a father was running with his child to exercise for triathlon or national football or basketball, and that dog would have killed the child. You people are irresponsible. I don't even know. So I am waiting to see what police do to all you. Clarence coming back. Isn't it amazing, Archie? The Clarence coming back. Clarence was just fired, embarrassed, ridiculed. He say, rock so. He go in Canada to love up his family. And all of a sudden, he stay quiet. He sit down in a PNM meeting with his leg crossed like a little girl. And he was clapping so. And now he's back with some manufactured position to put him in charge of land again. Isn't that amazing? The Attorney General, embarrassed, ridiculed, play vex a little hour and a half and then cancel press conference and boil down and say, boy, I love local government, I come in to clean all your drain, and look, we could plant chocolate. The PNM, when they are disrespected or thrown out or fired or removed, somehow they don't sink the whole PNM ship. Isn't that interesting? Faris demoted, Marlene fired, rehired 3 times, LaHunt fired, still begging back for a seat. Garcia and Lovell Francis from Education, fired, ridiculed, replaced by bundles who worse than both of them put together. You don't hear nothing from them. Jennings Smith from Sangre Grande, taken away, fired as a minister, removed from our seat. Where is she? We don't hear nothing. Randall Mitchell, moved from San Fernando East and sit down in the Senate quiet. Man take his girl and all and he's still quiet. Shamfa Kujo moved from tourism to sport. Clarence again, Keith Scotland, nothing for ye. Big attorney. He ain't get nothing in Pinay de Bois, right? And the one who ball you don't belong here. She get moved out the Senate one time. They tell she moved from here. Or Nicole Oliveri, former Minister of Energy and one of the MPs from Dongso, Labre or Point 14. Where Dylan was Labre. Dylan for Point 14 removed, Minister of National Security removed. You're not hearing them forming no party or going to Bartok Rowley or mashing up the party or going to constituencies and going to activists and mashing up everything. All these people fired and removed from the job that they wanted or thought that they should have. Dennis Moses, Rohan Sinanan, trampled upon by Rowley and Smallpin. They went and procure vessels without he, and he's the Minister of Works and Transport. They let a committee buy the Galleon's Passage. Nothing for he. He trampled all over by Smallpin. Rohan sitting down there quiet here, mashing up the PNM. On boards and so on. Terence Farrell and them resigned because Rowley incompetent and not listening to them. But before the election on August 10, 2020, Terence Farrell telling all you vote PNM. And now he talking about the place in a mess. Tobago, they didn't even listen to his economic development plan. Denise Deming, the entire Petrodrain board removed twice. Winfred Espinay, Jerry Brooks, resigned from NGC because Rowley and Smallpin went and negotiated in Houston. He stayed quiet and gone by UTC. Alam and Balkisoon fired and removed from the NGC board because they are whistleblowers. Them ain't say nothing, them gone quiet, them PNM. Helen Drayton, she trying to defend the PNM still, even though she removed from 2 board. The entire Police Service Commission, all of them, quiet. And hundreds more. But they ain't going and try to form no party. They ain't say Rowley's not a good leader, and he did this and that, and he so on, and he just lost in Tobago, blowout. After the gerrymander and so on, he get 14-1. You hearing them PNM? But Bo and Vasant and others, what's the other one name? I even know she name, Ramona something, right? Me even know she name. These Bo and Vasant, Bo, you didn't get to have a seat again. Oh gosh, you're trying to form a party, but only 7 people attended your meetings, of which I sent for them to Mako. Bo, because you didn't get what you want. What's that one in the middle? What's she name again? I don't even know. Vasant, no, Kamala make you minister for so long, put you in the Senate, 8 years, didn't bust your throat when you didn't sign for her to be leader of the opposition in 2009. So as soon as you all don't get what you want, mash up everything and leave the country to go down the chute into the PCs like the sewer in Beatam. Forget everything. Forget the country. Forget children. Forget the crime spree. Forget the lack of jobs. Forget no foreign direct investment. Forget everything falling apart. Because all you didn't get what you all want. Mash up the UNC. Mash up the opposition. Try to split it. You can't split it. All you like some old Bartex. You have no support. But I just give that to you, the UNC people and the opposition people. Stop buying into the PNM nonsense. All them PNM, you hear them split? You hear them forming the next party? You hear them bad talking? You hear them writing column, bad talking, Rowley? Not a word. And those who were, they get position, they harsh. Conrad Enil, look how he quiet. Where Robert Myers, who was bad talking the partnership every week, inside, outside. Oh God, he get a little walk at TSTT. He gone quiet with a big smoking mouth. And hey, Robert Myers, what happened to you? Things nice. Financial sector nice. You foreign exchange, oh, everything nice. Lots of growth. The economy booming, diversified. How you gone quiet, Robert Myers? I will end there, you know. Archie, are going forward a bit. I see they have something, the PNM coming with the Better Man program. Right? They want to encourage young men to be better men. interesting, sounds good, except that at the first presenter you lost me. So this is the reshaping adult males and building young men to feel empowered, function, and better contribute to our society, right? It's a workshop. Starting concept sounds good, interesting, we need some of that. But here where you lost the whole country. The first presenter is Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, a man who was a teacher and went to try to get pom-pom from a girl who is a child and breachy and ignored the child for 44 years. A man who don't want to tell we whether he had two outside twins in Victoria Keys where he using taxpayers' dollars to mind the outside children. A man who to get in the cabinet if he is a woman, you had a pass thing by he. A man who had no respect for his wife whatsoever. He is 70-something, horny goat weed not working, and he's still harassing Foster Cummins and the honor man, vex for the next honor man. That is the man, a man, Keith Rowley, who stands up and lies on people, the most obnoxious clown in the parliament, to abuse Rodney Charles, to attack women, to tell women he not in the bedroom and so on, and victim blame. That is who always start off to tell our young men to be like Rowley. Well, all you failed from before you start. Fire burn that, move that boy. All you had to be mad if there was a lineup of man. Rowley is the worst. And your number one presenter is Keith Christopher Rowley. All you have no shame. The pathological lying hypocrite, nasty, who discuss women in the most disgusting manner. A misogynist personified, talking about woman is pasture and they're like a golf course and man had to groom them or they turn to what nonsense are you talking about? Rowley? Ask Grabby Wabby about Rowley. Ask Grabby Wabby wife about Rowley. Ask Donna Cox about Rowley. Ask the next one wife about Rowley. Ask Bundles about Rowley. Ask Judy Raymond about Rowley. Ask Sharon about Rowley. Rowley just take picture with the inside children and ignore outside children. Rowley who don't even know when you're horning wear prophylactic. All you come to tell we that our young men must be more like Rowley. But you had to be mad. Archie, this is why in St. Joseph, I gone up St. Joseph, Archie, and I can't believe in St. Joseph, look what happening already to the Balizé, Archie. Look at it. If all you only know as we walk through St. Joseph and people coming out of the house, running in and out, look what happened. Look what happened to the Balizé in St. Joseph. Why, Archie? Because St. Joseph, we ready. Run it, Archie.
We're ready for
Just like St. Joseph, the entire country is ready and fed up. We have fallen apart under Keith Rowley and the PNM. Unite and do not be distracted by those who are motivated by self, who are motivated by position, who are motivated by selfish means, who do not care about the country. They just care about themselves. I didn't get this, so I want to mash up. Ignore them. Unite, stay strong. And elections are due. And elections will remove Keith Rowley and the PNM forever, because they have destroyed this country. They've divided it. They've caused more pain and separation across the board than any government in the history of the CARICOM. Keith Rowley must go. And if you have cojones, call the election, because St. Joseph ready, the country ready, just like Tobago was ready, and they got rid of Rowley and the PNM, and they spit out the navel string into the Caribbean Sea. That is facts.
The pronunciation of the day starts with F.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the facts, F-A-X.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
I don't know what's going on, but kids, stay in school.
Good night.